早晨，歡迎各位透過網上直播參加消費者委員會第554期選擇月刊嘅新聞發佈會。今日為我哋主持發佈會嘅係宣傳及社區關係小組主席蕭景威先生同埋總幹事黃鳳嫻女士。發佈會會首先以廣東話進行，跟住係到英文嘅摘要，然後就到提問環節。Good morning. Thank you for joining the Consumer Council's online press conference for Choice Issue number 554. Hosting today's press conference are Mr. Karis Seal, Chairman of the Publicity and Community Relations Committee of the Consumer Council, and Ms. Gilly Wong, Chief Executive of the Consumer Council. Today's press conference will first be conducted in Cantonese, followed by an English synopsis, and then a Q&A session. 好啦，唔阻大家時間，我而家將時間交俾蕭景威先生 ，Karis please。
好，唔該。咁歡迎各位記者朋友出席今日我哋嘅記者新聞發佈會啦。咁我哋今日咧係有5篇嘅文章咧係想同大家去分享嘅。咁第一篇咧就係關於呢個凝膠嘅指甲油嘅。咁我哋準備咗一條短片，咁麻煩同事。
嚟緊咁多 party， 點可以唔整翻套靚靚膠甲應節呢？不過膠甲入邊有咁多化學物質，有時打開個膠咧，已經覺得好攻鼻啦。究竟安唔安全㗎？
消委會測試市面上25款膠甲油樣本，發現超過60%半樣本含有歐盟禁用物質。呢3款樣本驗出甲醛，而呢1款樣本就驗出苯。13款樣本驗出氖。另外有2款樣本分別檢出苯並 A 因同埋因。呢5種化學物質係屬於致癌物，全部都被歐盟化妝品法規列為禁用物質，係唔可以用作原材料添加喺任何化妝品入面㗎。就算單次使用，呢啲化學物質亦都有機會引致頭痛、暈眩、刺激皮膚呢啲唔同嘅健康問題。
咁係咪冇檢出歐盟禁用物質嘅樣本就安全呢？
之但係今次測試嘅所有樣本都檢出有機溶液甲苯，佢屬於歐盟規範第2級生殖毒性，對發育中嘅胎兒嘅影響較大。孕婦同埋餵緊母乳嘅媽媽要特別留意啊！除咗有害物質之外，今次測試亦都發現好多膠甲產品上面嘅資料好唔齊全。25款樣本入面，只有呢7款有喺瓶身上以英文清楚標示使用方法，而只係得8款喺產品瓶身上以英文詳細標示成分資料。其他樣本就無論包裝或者瓶身上都冇標示呢啲資料。消費者唔知道產品嘅有效成分，會大大增加過敏風險㗎。
咁究竟點膠甲先可以又安全又靚啊？記住以下貼士：1. 做膠甲嘅時候要盡量保持空氣流通，以減少吸入有機溶劑嘅風險。2. 記得唔好過分收走指甲邊嘅死皮，咁樣係會令到指甲更容易被真菌感染，甚至會引致甲溝炎。3. 膠甲後盡快洗淨雙手，以減少皮膚吸入有害物質嘅風險。4. 每隔2到3個月就要俾指甲唞唞，咁先可以保持指甲嘅健康。5. 如果指甲本身已有細菌感染，就要等完全康復先做啦。除咗甲油之外，有時照 UV 燈嘅時候咧，都覺得好辣手。如果經常照，有冇問題呢？皮膚近距離照射 UV 真係有機會灼傷皮膚㗎。過度照曬甚至會令皮膚變得脆弱，同增加患上皮膚癌嘅機會啊！所以做膠甲前，大家都要為雙手搽足防曬，之後仲要加強保濕，滋潤翻雙手。仲有啊，記得呢啲膠甲玻璃瓶係唔可以放入回收箱㗎。希望生產商第時可以有自己嘅回收項目，咁就可以減輕堆填區嘅負擔啦。好多嘢要留意啊，我抽唔切添，等我直接買今期選擇月刊，慢慢研究下先。
消費者委員會測試咗市面上邊25款水溶性樹脂指甲油產品，發現當中有近70%，即係17款嘅樣本咧，係檢出最少1種歐盟禁用嘅致癌物，包括苯、甲醛同埋呢個多環芳香烴。消委會喺主要嘅零售點搜集咗25款嘅凝膠指甲油樣本，售價係每瓶由港幣88元至到238元不等，價格相差近2倍。有8款嘅樣本咧係冇檢出歐盟嘅禁用物質， 其中5款嘅樣本咧更加係獲得到我哋最高分5分嘅評分，包括2款售價最高同埋1款售價最低嘅樣本，可以反映到產品嘅質素咧係未必同價格係成正比嘅。消委會參考咗歐盟化妝品法規，進行咗常見於指甲油嘅有害物質測試，包括甲醛、3種有機溶液，即係苯、甲苯同埋二甲苯、多環芳香烴、N 亞硝胺同埋塑化劑。全部樣本咧都冇檢出 N 亞硝胺同埋塑化劑嘅，不過就檢出咗其他嘅有害物質。另外，消委會亦都檢視咗樣本上面嘅包裝同埋標籤上面嘅資料。CMR 物質係根據歐盟嘅化學物質和混合物分類標示與包裝法規中嘅定義，致癌、可導致基因發生永久性突變同埋生物毒性嘅化學物質。根據歐盟化妝品法規嘅要求，所有 CMR 物質應該都係被禁止使用喺化妝品之中嘅。而是次嘅測試包括甲醛、苯、甲苯、N 亞硝胺同埋部分嘅多環芳香烴咧，都被均定義為呢個 CMR 物質嘅。有關嘅有機溶液咧係可以溶解同埋混合指甲油常見中嘅各種嘅部分各種嘅成分，而溶液一般係會喺指甲油變乾嘅過程中咧揮發。咁是次測試入邊咧檢測到指甲油當中最常見嘅苯、甲苯同埋二甲苯3種嘅有機溶液。而根據呢個歐盟嘅法規咧，苯即係呢個 benzene啦，咁係屬於呢個第一 A 級致癌物同埋第一 B 級可導致基因發生永久性突變嘅物質，係屬於歐盟化妝品法規同埋內地化妝品安全技術規範中嘅禁用物質嚟嘅。係唔可以刻意添加喺化妝品嘅當中。短期嘅健康風險咧係包括有頭痛啦、暈眩啦同埋心跳加速，而長期接觸咧更加可能係構成呢個致癌嘅風險，甚至乎可能會係損害呢個神經啦同埋免疫系統嘅。測試結果顯示，我哋其中1款嘅樣本咧係檢出每公斤咧係有0.26毫克嘅苯。咁雖然個檢出量咧係屬於好微量，咁但係由於苯已經係屬於已經知道嘅人類致癌物啦。咁所以消委會喺度建議消費者咧係避免選用含有呢一類呢類物質嘅產品。全部樣本咧我哋都檢出屬於第2級生物毒性嘅甲苯。咁檢出量咧係由每公斤嘅1.6毫克咧去到47毫克，都符合咗呢個歐盟嘅化妝品法規只限用於指甲油嘅上限，即係每公斤25萬毫克。但係始終佢都有個健康風險嘅，短期暴露喺甲苯嘅之中咧，可能會刺激到我哋嘅眼睛啦、呼吸道啦同埋皮膚，而引起可能頭痛啦、肌肉嘅疲勞。長期接觸咧，甚至乎可能會導致肝臟啦、神經係影響嘅，神經系統影響嘅，亦都會影響我哋發育中嘅胎兒嘅健康。由於甲苯咧對於發育中嘅胎兒同埋兒童健康嘅影響咧係較大，因此咧孕婦同埋哺乳中嘅婦女係應該避免咧使用含有甲苯嘅產品嘅。而另外咧有近半數即係12款嘅樣本咧係檢出咗二甲苯，檢出量咧係由每公斤嘅0.99毫克咧至到120毫克。根據歐盟法規咧，二甲苯係屬於第4級嘅急性毒性，但係就未有定下佢嘅濃度上限嘅。而甲醛咧係常見於喺化妝品當中嘅防腐劑，用作咧係防止呢個細菌嘅生長。由於甲醛同指甲中咧嘅天然嘅角質層咧角質蛋白咧係會結合咧，可以令到呢個指甲變硬。咁所以亦都會好常見咧喺呢個指甲油嘅成分當中去方便去做美甲嘅。咁根據歐盟化妝品法規咧，由於甲醛咧係屬於第1 B 級嘅致癌物，第2級可導致基因發生永久性突變嘅物質，同埋第3級急性毒性以及第1級嘅皮膚致敏物啦。咁所以喺2019年起咧就已經禁止咗作為原材料咧添加喺任何嘅化妝品之中嘅。而喺今次我哋嘅測試入邊咧，發現有3款嘅指甲油嘅樣本咧係檢驗出呢個游離甲醛嘅。咁檢測量咧係由0.006啦去到0.010嘅。咁但係符合咗內地2015年嘅化妝品安全技術規範對於甲醛嘅要求，亦即係總量係唔應該超過0.2%，並且係禁用喺任何嘅噴霧嘅產品。而至於多環芳香烴啦，係常見於喺呢個塑膠啦、有機溶液嘅啲嘅雜質嚟㗎。咁目前咧已經知道咧呢個 多環芳香烴咧係有超過100多種㗎啦。咁其中咧亦都唔少咧係確定咗或者係已經列為咧潛在嘅致癌物質。咁是次測試嘅樣本當中咧，我哋係檢出咗6種多環芳香烴嘅，而喺25個樣本中咧有14款啦，即係有冇56？我哋頭先56啦，係檢出1至到2種歐盟禁用嘅多環芳香烴。以每公斤計13款樣本咧係檢出咗氖，檢出量咧係由0.01毫克去到0.20毫克。有一款咧樣本係檢出咗0.01毫克嘅砷，另外有一款樣本咧係同時檢出0.01毫克嘅苯並 A 砷，以及0.04毫克嘅氖。咁由於咧指甲油呢個凝膠指甲油咧係需要經過呢個 UV 紫外線照射咧先至可以做到固化。咁所以咧，如果消費者係唔正確使用呢個 UV 燈或者照射嘅時間係過長嘅話咧，係或者會構成呢個健康風險㗎。咁咁近距離去照射 UV 燈咧，亦都可能會令到指甲附近嘅皮膚咧係有色素沉澱嘅問題，嚴重咧更加可能會對皮膚造成傷害，甚至都會增加咗患上皮膚癌嘅風險。此外，指甲經過過度照曬之後咧，其實亦都會變得脆弱。咁消委會建議消費者咧係唔應該經常進行膠甲嘅。咁照曬之前咧，亦都可以喺手上咧搽一啲嘅防曬產品咧，以降低呢個紫外線對皮膚嘅傷害。喺25款嘅樣本當中咧，只有8款咧喺呢個產品嘅瓶身啦，或者包裝上面咧係以英文詳細標示成分資料嘅。咁其中有9款嘅樣本咧係只係提供咗呢個韓文或者日文嘅成分資料。而仲有8款咧，其實係完全冇任何嘅成分資料嘅。咁至於喺使用方法上邊啦，譬如講 UV 燈啦，咁只有7款咧只有7款係用英文咧係寫咗喺個包裝上邊啦，而其餘18款咧係完全冇提供到相關嘅資訊嘅。咁消費者係強烈建議呢個製造商咧係要改善翻包裝上面嘅資料，為消費者提供翻完整同埋可閱讀嘅產品資訊，以保障翻消費者嘅健康。咁頭先都喺片段都見到有好多嘅提示 tips 俾大家啦。咁除咗頭先喺片段入邊嘅話，我哋其實都有啲係想特別去講翻嘅。咁就係講緊大家記住，如果喺做美甲嘅過程入邊咧，發現咗身體可能出現咗一啲嘅過敏反應咧，就要特別小心啦。尤其是可能如果有啲過敏自己知道可能有啲致敏嘅物質嘅時候，咁大家要留意翻有冇喺成分表度揾到啦。咁另外，如果喺用緊美甲產品嘅時候，如果感覺到有啲頭暈嘔心或者覺得有啲刺鼻嘅話咧，咁代表產品咧可能係含有呢個有害物質嘅，咁消費者係應該立即停止使用。咁頭先都講咗係會有好多揮發嘅物質啦，咁所以喺做美甲嘅時候咧，大家係應該加強翻室內嘅空氣流通，以降低吸入多環芳香烴同埋甲醛等揮發性有害物質嘅風險。咁消費者應該喺完成 gel 甲之後咧，係盡快去洗手嘅，以免手部嘅皮膚因為接觸咗有害物質咧而造成過敏嘅反應。咁我哋第二篇要介紹嘅文章係關於漱口水嘅，咁我哋都準備咗一條短片咧，係俾大家睇睇嘅。
唔少人會用漱口水作口腔護理，希望改善牙周病、蛀牙、口臭等嘅問題。想證明殺菌潔淨口腔，一啲關於點揀點用漱口水嘅迷思，你點可以唔知？消委會最近搜集咗市面上32款漱口水，分析當中嘅有效成分同佢哋嘅主要功能，包括有殺菌功效嘅精油、西比氯胺、氯己定、聚維酮碘，強化牙齒表面，有效防止蛀牙嘅氟化物同腸基磷灰石，可以減輕口臭嘅新炎，同埋具美白功效嘅過氧化氫。既然唔同成分有唔同嘅功效，咁喺買嘅時候最緊要睇清楚邊種成分啱自己嘅需要。漱口水嘅功效咁多，我哋直接用漱口水取代刷牙又得唔得呢？其實最好同最有效嘅清潔牙齒方法係刷牙同埋用牙線，單靠漱口水絕對唔能夠徹底清潔牙菌膜㗎。咁小朋友又可唔可以用漱口水呢？要小心啦，兒童有機會唔小心吞咗大量嘅漱口水，造成危險。咁所以衛生署並唔建議6歲以下嘅兒童用漱口水。 另外，仲要將漱口水放喺兒童攞唔到嘅地方。用漱口水有辣同乸嘅感覺，同殺菌功效有冇關呢？漱口水辣唔辣同殺菌功效冇直接關係，而係視乎配方入邊嘅成分。咁買嗰陣又要留意啲咩呢？消費者喺選購嘅時候需要睇清楚成分、使用指引同埋適用年齡。但喺調查中，部分樣本未有清晰標示呢啲重要嘅資料，並唔理想。另外，有漱口水採用咗最為酮碘成分，佢釋出嘅游離碘元素對懷孕中嘅婦女同有甲狀腺疾病嘅人士有不良影響。而長時間使用西比氯胺同氯己定嘅漱口水，亦都有機會令到牙齒染有積斑，同埋短暫影響味覺。消費者要小心選購。雖然大容量包裝比較經濟實惠同埋環保，但係買之前都要先考慮自己嘅啷口習慣，再揀啱 size 嘅漱口水。漱口水唔係必須要日日用，如果到期前用唔晒，或者覺得口味唔啱，就會造成浪費。大家喺精明殺菌嘅同時，亦都可以精明選擇，為環保出一分力。
消委會喺超級市場、個人護理用品店、百貨公司等購買咗32款嘅漱口水樣本，除咗2款樣本係屬於濃縮裝，佢需要首先以清水稀釋先可以使用外咧，其餘30本嘅樣本咧都係可以直接使用，唔需要稀釋嘅。樣本嘅售價介乎港元27至到167元，總容量由120毫升去到1080毫升。如果按照產品標示嘅使用指引去計算咧，其實每次嘅使用需要花費3毫3至到6個3毫2，咁價格咧係相差超過18倍嘅。咁是次嘅調查嘅32個樣本中咧，咁分別標示含有精油、西比氯胺、氯乙定同埋呢個最為酮碘嘅等等，有助係減少呢個口腔入邊嘅細菌嘅。然而消費者係需要注意，多數人喺長時間使用呢個含有西比氯胺或者氯乙定嘅漱口水之後咧，可能會令到牙齒係染有積斑，同埋味覺咧可能會受到短暫嘅影響。另外一款樣本咧係標示以呢個最為酮碘去作為呢個主要殺菌成分，咁係屬於一種非處方嘅藥物，係會喺發揮作用嘅過程入邊咧，其實亦都會釋放呢個游離碘嘅元素。咁所以懷孕中嘅婦女或者患有甲狀腺疾病嘅人士咧，係並唔建議使用含有呢個成分嘅產品。此外，消費者亦都需要留意啦。美白漱口水一般咧，其實只係含有好少量嘅過氧化氫，一般都係少過2%嘅。咁係遠低於牙醫喺呢個美白牙齒嘅療程中所使用嘅濃度，通常係約莫20%至40%。因此，消費者喺使用呢類咁低濃度過氧化氫嘅美白漱口水之後咧，牙齒嘅表面咧未必可以喺短時間之內咧出現呢個明顯嘅美白效果。但係市民咧亦都千祈唔好咧自行咧去使用高濃度嘅過氧化氫。消費者提醒，唔同漱口水嘅成分或者有差別，使用時咧係需要注意嘅地方咧亦都不盡相同，所以消費者係應該按唔同漱口水嘅成分或者出現嘅用後反應咧，去選擇返自己合適嘅產品。是次調查咧，消委會亦都安排咗使用者咧去實測呢個32款嘅樣本啦。結果咧顯示，大部分嘅樣本嘅刺激度咧普遍係屬於溫和至到適中嘅水平，而對比各樣本嘅酒精成分聲稱啦，同使用者對比對樣本嘅刺激度嘅意見之後咧，我哋係見唔到有明顯嘅關係嘅。此外，部分消費者亦都認為含有酒精嘅漱口水咧會具有更好嘅殺菌功效啦。但係然而根據呢個世界衛生組織嘅指引咧，酒精濃度咧係要達到60%至80%咧，先至能夠有效殺死細菌或者呢個病毒。而一般嘅漱口水當中嘅酒精含量咧係都唔會達到呢一個濃度㗎。咁故含有呢個酒精成分嘅漱口水咧，唔一定係會有更好嘅殺菌效能。是次調查亦都共有10款嘅樣本咧係標示含有可以防止蛀牙嘅氟化物啦。咁值得關注嘅就係普遍漱口水嘅氟化物嘅含量咧係約為200個 ppm。咁較一般牙膏咧 約為1350至到1500個 ppm 咧嘅含量咧係為低嘅。咁所以消費者係唔應該完全以漱口水咧去替代用以牙膏咧去攝取呢個氟化物嘅。咁另外呢個新鹽咧喺漱口水當中咧可以用作係減輕呢個口臭嘅症狀。咁是次調查咧有5款嘅樣本咧係聲稱含有唔同種類嘅新鹽啦。咁雖然新鹽係可以減少呢個細菌產生異味嘅揮發性硫化物，但係消費者亦都唔應該只係依賴漱口水咧去改善口臭，而忽略咗本身因為造成口臭嘅一啲嘅成因，例如蛀牙啦，或者有呢個牙周病嘅，以免咧係延誤咗呢個醫治。消委會亦都檢視咗調查中嘅32個樣本嘅標籤啦，咁發現咧就只有22款咧喺標籤上邊咧係以中文或者英文咧係詳細標示成分嘅資料，有8款咧就只係得日文嘅成分資料，而更加係我哋發現有2款咧係冇列出成分嘅。咁消費者建議有關廠商喺標籤上邊咧係要加翻清晰嘅提示，保障消費者選擇合適產品嘅權益。雖然調查中有27款樣本包裝上咧係有中文或者英文嘅使用指引，但係當中咧係有2款樣本咧係冇提供到呢個建議使用分量，或者只係講只係使用少量嘅漱口水。7款嘅樣本咧係未有提供建議每日嘅使用次數啦，而8款樣本咧係未有提供適用年齡嘅指引，而餘下嘅5款咧嘅包裝上面咧亦都只係印有日文嘅指引。消委會強調咧，因應唔同漱口水嘅配方同埋佢嘅漱口時間啦、漱口水嘅用量啦，以至稀釋嘅比例咧都會有所唔同。如果產品欠缺清晰嘅使用指引咧，或者會導致消費者每次嘅漱口時間會過長啦，或者每日嘅使用次數咧係會過多，或者會亦都用咗啲過高濃度嘅漱口水，對口腔健康咧或者會造成一個不良嘅影響。雖然漱口水係家居常見嘅口腔護理用品啦，但係唔同嘅家庭成員咧，其實對漱口水咧係會有唔同嘅需求嘅。咁我哋可以睇下呢一個嘅圖啦。咁其實我哋有4個咧係想強調俾大家知道嘅。咁第一個咧就係個孕婦啦。咁頭先都提過啦，其實孕婦咧係唔建議咧去用含有呢個聚維同碘嘅漱口水嘅，因為可能會影響個胎兒啦嘅發展。咁另外咧就係對於一啲嚴重蛀牙啦，或者佩戴矯齒器，或者接受過頭頸部放射治療嘅人士咧，其實係可以用翻呢個含有氟化物嘅漱口水咧，去加強嗰個護齒嘅。咁至於佩戴假牙嘅人士咧，如果長時間用呢個將呢個假牙浸咗喺漱口水入邊咧，或者係會令到假牙變形啦、褪色啦，甚至可能會係有鏽蝕嘅。而至於兒童咧，其實我哋衛生署咧係唔建議6歲以下嘅兒童去使用嘅。如果用嘅話咧，其實都需要有大人嘅監督啦。咁消費者亦都分別咗諮詢咗衛生署啦、香港牙醫學會專家嘅意見啦。咁專家其實都表示咧，最好同埋最有效嘅清潔牙齒嘅方法咧，其實都係正確嘅刷牙方法，並且係配合呢個牙線喺適當嘅情況下咧，以牙縫刷咧係一齊使用嘅。因為附喺牙齒表面嘅牙菌膜咧，其實只能夠以牙刷同埋牙線去清除，而漱口水咧係並唔能夠徹底有效咁去滲透牙菌膜之中嘅。所以漱口水咧就只係可以作為呢個口腔護理嘅輔助產品，係需要配合翻良好嘅清潔習慣，先可以達到理想嘅效果。第3篇咧係關於呢個信用卡嘅現金回贈。咁點樣利用信用卡去簽帳積分去賺到盡呢？咁往往其實都係好多消費大人好關注嘅一個課題啦。咁嚟緊佳節啦，咁大家消費者個消費意欲就會大增。咁各個發卡機構咧，其實都推出各5花8門嘅簽帳獎賞現金回贈計劃，希望吸引消費者簽帳。咁但係消委會進行嘅市場調查發現啦，唔同簽帳獎賞現金回贈嘅方法嘅所提及嘅合資格簽帳啊、兌換率啊、最低簽帳要求啊、最高兌換上限等各項嘅細節咧，其實都會有唔同。現金回贈比率咧更加可以相差超過26倍。雖然限時現金計劃回贈嘅兌換率咧普遍咧係比恆常嘅計劃係好比較優惠，但係消費者需要留意啦。限時計劃咧一般咧都會較多嘅條件附帶嘅，例如可能佢會設有呢個回贈發放嘅上限啦，以及附帶可能單一或者累積合資格簽帳金額嘅最低要求等等。所以唔同 消費模式或者習慣嘅消費者咧，即使使用同一張嘅信用卡簽帳，可以獲得嘅現金回贈咧，亦都可能會有差異。消委會喺今年10月至11月嘅期間，向20間發卡機構查詢有關信用卡簽帳獎賞現金回贈嘅計劃資料啦，同埋檢視咗一間銀行嘅相關網頁，調查發卡機構自營嘅個人信用卡嘅恆常簽帳獎賞現金計劃咧，以及喺8月至到10月期間有效推廣期限1個月或以上嘅限時簽帳獎賞現金回贈計劃，以了解佢嘅計算方法啦，同埋相關條款以及限制。唔同嘅恆常簽帳獎賞現金回贈計劃咧，係有唔同嘅回贈方法啦。咁主要咧其實係分為呢個自動回贈、兌換回贈同埋扣減回贈、扣減交易金額嘅3種。發卡機構咧係根據佢本身自己定義嘅合資格嘅簽帳啦，乘以若干比百分比嘅指定或者嘅指定嘅兌換率咧，去計算翻持卡人所得嘅現金回贈，或者係以持卡人嘅合資格簽帳咧去計算佢嘅獎賞，再透過獎賞計劃咧去兌換翻現金回贈，或者喺指定商戶或者網上平台消費時咧，以個獎賞去扣減嗰個金額嘅。咁是次嘅調查咧，喺呢21間發卡機構中咧，回贈比率最高咧係可以達到6%，而最低嘅回贈比率咧係只係得0.22%，咁所以相差咧係超過26倍。而一般嘅回贈比率咧都係介乎於0.4%至到0.5%。消費者係需要注意咧，並非所有簽帳咧都係符合呢個合資格簽帳嘅條件嘅。咁有20間嘅回覆機構就講啦，絕大部分咧現金透支啦、信用卡年費啦，或者財務費用啦，甚至乎係講緊購買賭場籌碼啦，以及去繳交稅項等等嘅，其實都被定義為非合資格嘅簽帳。另外有8間嘅機構，即係約40%咧，係會就繳交指定嘅保單費用或者指定嘅基金咧嘅簽帳咧，係發放獎賞或者現金回贈。為咗迎合唔同消費者嘅消費模式啦，唔同信用卡咧都有特定嘅類別簽帳，就特定嘅類別簽帳咧會有唔同嘅獎賞比例或者回贈嘅比率。咁消費者換算咗各個計劃之下兌換1蚊現金回贈所需嘅平均簽帳金額咧，發現咧即使係同一類消費咧，兌換率都可以相差甚遠㗎。喺恆常計劃中啦，如果以餐飲、食肆類簽帳兌換1蚊現金回贈咧，平均所需嘅金額咧係由最低嘅33.33元去到最高嘅225元，相差係接近6倍。而喺限時計劃當中，該類別嘅兌換1蚊嘅現金回贈平均所需嘅簽帳嘅金額咧，由最低嘅8個3毫3去到最高嘅100元，相差咧係11倍。若果以網上簽帳比較咧，恆常計劃兌換1蚊現金咧，平均所需要簽帳咧係由最低嘅31個2毫半去到最高嘅250蚊嘅。咁部分限時計劃嘅獎賞啦，表面好似係比呢個恆常計劃優惠嘅，咁希望係藉此係增加消費者喺特定時間內消費嘅意欲。但係消費者係需要注意咧，限時計劃咧，佢哋嗰個附帶條件一般係比恆常計劃係多嘅。例如係大多係會設有呢個發放嘅金額嘅上限啦，單一最低簽帳或者每月合資格簽帳嘅要求咧，一般都係較呢個恆常計劃高嘅。而現金回贈亦都普遍係需要比較長嘅時間咧，先可以傳入翻去持卡人嘅帳戶。咁所以消費者喺呢個碌卡簽帳之前咧，係需要認真考慮種種嘅條件限制，唔好着眼於好似着數比較多嘅限時計劃，倉促咧就簽下一啲比較大額嘅帳單，導致不必要甚至過度消費。例如其中一間發卡機構嘅信用卡啦，喺恆常嘅計劃之下咧，任何合資格零售簽帳咧嘅基本獎賞咧都唔會有呢個發放上限。但係如果喺佢嘅限時計劃之下，去以手機去支付簽帳咧，雖然咧佢係會有額外嘅9倍積分，但係額外嘅積分咧就設有每個月1萬分嘅發放上限，所以計算落嚟咧，其實只係約莫咧喺簽帳頭嗰1100元咧，係以手機支付嘅簽帳咧係可以得到額外嘅獎賞。咁換言之咧，其實每個月可以得到嘅現金回贈咧，實質咧其實可以額外得到嘅咧就只係得40元嘅啫。 咁其後嘅簽賬咧，其實都只係可以賺翻我哋嗰個基本嘅獎賞。所以無論消費者嘅相關簽賬額有幾多咧，其實最終嗰個額外嘅獎賞咧，都係比佢嘅恆常計劃咧就只係多40元。咁即使兌換符合所有嘅兌換條件啦，恆常同埋限時計劃獎賞嘅現金發放時間咧，都會係有分別嘅。咁大部分嘅恆常計劃咧，其實都可以喺幾日至到1個月內咧，將獎賞咧或者現金啦，去回贈翻去持卡人嘅帳戶入邊。而相反啦，限時計劃咧係可能係需要喺呢個完成簽賬後較長嘅時間咧，先會存入翻。其中咧有啲計劃咧係甚至乎係要3至到5個月之後咧，先會回贈翻俾持卡人嘅帳戶。咁即使係持有同一張信用卡啦，喺相同時段喺相同嘅計劃之下簽賬咧，其實唔同消費模式嘅消費者咧，喺限時計劃所得到嘅現金回贈咧，就未必一定係比恆常嘅計劃多。如果消費者每筆簽賬嘅金額係比較細，或者未能夠符合現金限時計劃所對於累積簽賬要求嘅嗰個要求咧，消費者其實未必可以得到更加好嘅嗰個獎賞。咁我哋其實可以睇少少例子。咁我哋其實做咗一個簡單嘅示範俾大家睇睇個計算。咁其實我哋而家有3位嘅假設嘅消費者喺度啦。我哋最集中其實睇翻消費者 A， 即係藍色嗰格，同埋消費者 C 紅色嗰格。咁其實你見到其實A 咧，其實佢嘅簽賬咧，其實都唔係話好多啦。咁就我哋假設咗佢係5000元4毫嘅。而消費者 C 咧，佢係會比較多數係啲大額嘅簽賬啦。你見到係有嗰個月累計咧，亦都係有15000元嘅。咁我哋今次做咧係引用咗其中一個嘅計劃咧去做呢個示範。咁其實佢其中一個好緊要嘅要求咧，就係喺限時計劃期間咧，單一簽賬咧係要超過500蚊咧，先至會係計落呢個限時嘅計劃入邊嘅。咁所以咧，我哋喺計算喺 A 嘅部分藍色嘅時候咧，由於佢有一個咧係唔達到500蚊嘅。咁所以其實佢係喺恆常計劃嘅話咧，其實佢嗰5000元4毫咧，其實全部都會係計入合資格嘅簽賬額啦。咁但係喺限時計劃咧，其實係係扣翻呢300幾蚊出嚟嘅，係得4600幾蚊嘅啫。咁所以其實佢最後咧，你見得到佢可以得到嗰個獎賞咧，其實係佢恆常計劃咧係攞到51蚊啦。咁去到限時計劃咧，其實有97蚊。不過我哋睇埋紅色嗰個。紅色嗰個你見得到，其實佢每一個嘅簽賬咧都好大嘅，全部都係講緊5000幾、6000幾、3000幾累積嘅話咧，其實去到達到嗰個月嘅簽賬額咧去到15000蚊。咁但係其實佢回贈有冇因為相應而去倍大咗咧？我哋係見到唔會嘅，因為你見到其實喺恆常計劃嚟講啦，咁嗰15000蚊當然就全部都係計晒落去呢個合資格嘅簽賬啦。咁所以咧佢就會有85蚊嘅回贈。咁但係喺限時計劃嚟講咧。雖然嗰15000蚊咧都係會做晒呢個合資格消費，咁但係原來其實佢係本身係有一個發放嘅上限嘅，咁所以咧其實佢最後都係只係可以落喺嗰個透過2個計劃加埋咧，都只係可以攞到250蚊。所以其實你見得到咧雖然嗰個簽賬係倍大咗，但係其實嗰個獎賞咧係冇因應咧係按比例咁去提升嘅。咁呢度大家咧喺嗰個計算方法上面咧，其實真係要留意翻每一個計劃入邊佢嘅嗰個條款啦嘅計算方法啦，睇有冇上限等等嘅。咁亦都有唔少嘅發卡機構咧，係都有同指定嘅商戶咧去合作，提供一啲嘅簽賬獎賞優惠嘅。咁但係喺指定商戶嘅名單啦，或者係即係佢個指定名單咧，其實不時咧都會有一個修改，而亦都未必咧會及時去通知消費者嘅。咁消費者咧最好係定期咧留意翻發卡機構嘅公佈嘅資料啦，以免喺一啲已經剔除咗嘅指定商戶名單入邊嘅商鋪簽賬之後咧，發現到原來係攞唔到呢啲嘅獎賞。消委會提醒消費者應該係審慎去理財啦，避免為咗因為簽賬獎賞咧而申請過多嘅信用卡或者過度嘅簽賬。消費者應該喺選擇信用卡或者簽賬嘅獎賞計劃嘅時候啦，除咗佢要考慮翻佢嘅獎賞同埋佢現金回贈之外啦，亦都考慮翻佢個人本身嘅消費模式啦、信用卡合約嘅主要條款啦、獲取簽賬獎賞嘅條件同埋限制，審慎評估翻個人嘅負擔同埋還款能力，去做一個審慎嘅消費嘅。第4篇係關於套糧嘅。咁消費者咧係喺之前咧就檢測咗12款嘅供成年兔仔食用 聲稱為主食或者副食嘅乾糧產品，發現全部嘅樣本咧都存在唔同嘅營養問題，未能夠完全符合歐洲寵物食品相關嘅指引啦同埋建議嘅。如果長期作為主食嘅位置咧，係有機會損害兔仔嘅健康。測試涵蓋咗12款供成年寵物兔食用嘅乾糧樣本，包括9款係果粒狀嘅產品啦，2款係混合咗唔同材料，同埋1款混合咗唔同形狀以及顏色飼料果粒嘅混合乾糧。有8款咧係聲稱為全營養寵物食品，即係坊間普遍我哋稱之為主食糧啦。大部分嘅主食糧樣本咧都説明咧係需要配合大量甚至係無限量嘅乾草嘅位置嘅。而餘下嘅4款樣本中咧，有1款咧係説明咧係屬於補充性寵物食品，即係俗稱嘅副食糧啦。咁，其餘3款咧係完全冇提及究竟係屬於邊一種嘅類別。咁各樣本咧分別係購自呢個寵物用品專門店啦，以及網店啦。每包咧係由港元46元至到241元嘅，以每100克去計算，就介乎4個2去到30個1不等。價格咧係懸殊嘅，見到。測試發現啦，8款嘅主食糧當中啦嘅樣本當中咧係有超過60%，即係5款咧係檢出至少一種嘅營養素，即係講緊粗蛋白質、粗纖維、粗脂肪或者澱粉質咧個含量係偏低或者偏高嘅情況。當中包括1款樣本啦，係有3種嘅主要營養素含量咧都未能夠符合歐盟 FEDIAF 嘅指引。佢嘅檢出嘅粗纖維量咧係都低於相關嘅建議。但係佢粗脂肪同埋佢嘅澱粉質含量咧係較相關嘅建議為高。咁另外發現到2款樣本有2種營養素咧含量咧係未能符合相關嘅建議嘅。其中1款咧係檢出佢嘅粗纖維量咧係偏低，但係澱粉質含量咧就偏高。而另外1款咧就檢出粗蛋白質同埋粗脂肪含量咧係同時稍低於歐洲指引嘅建議。情況咧係有待改善嘅。如果兔仔長期食用一啲高脂肪、高熱量嘅膳食咧，係容易會出現過肥、過胖嘅問題。測試嘅8款主食糧樣本當中啦，以含水量12%去計算，粗脂肪喺乾糧中所佔嘅比例咧，差異係都幾大嘅，介乎2%去到8.8%。而當中2款嘅粗脂肪含量分別為5.3%同埋8.8%，較歐盟嘅 FEDIAF 建議供成年寵物兔，即係2.5%至到5%呢個建議咧，同埋成長期兔仔3%至到5%嘅膳食嘅脂肪含量咧係為高。另外有2款樣本嘅澱粉質含量咧係超過25%，係較呢個歐洲建議嘅指引建議啦，即係講緊應該係少過或者相等於每公斤飼料20%咧係為高嘅。如果兔仔涉及過多嘅澱粉質咧，其實有機會令到佢嘅腸胃道微生物嘅菌咧係失調啦，因而係會導致到腸炎同埋呢個嚴重嘅腹瀉。高纖維量嘅膳食咧係有助於兔仔咧去維持腸道嘅正常蠕動同埋牙齒健康。然而樣本間檢出嘅粗纖維量咧嘅差異都幾大，由9%去到27.3%不等。其中2款嘅主食糧樣本嘅粗纖維量咧較低，只係得9%同埋13.6%，係低過歐洲 FEDIAF 就成年寵物兔提出嘅含量範圍建議嘅，即係講緊每公斤咧係要有14%至到25%。另外4款副食糧嘅樣本當中啦，有1款咧檢出嘅粗纖維量咧為27.3%，稍為咧係高過指引嘅。飼料中嘅纖維量過多咧，其實都會有機會影響到兔仔吸收熱量。相反咧，如果太低嘅話咧，又會影響咗兔仔嗰個腸道嘅蠕動，或者會造成咧腸停嘅問題。咁所以主人咧係應該係多加注意。是次嘅測試又發現啦，全部樣本咧各有1至3種礦物質嘅含量問題嘅。咁包括係講緊鈣啦、磷啦、鈉、鎂含量，或者講緊呢個磷鈣比嘅，都係未能夠符合呢個 FEDIAF 嘅指引。有8款嘅樣本咧係未能夠符合指引嘅磷鈣比例啦。咁所以佢喺我哋見到嘅主食糧樣本當中啦，其實有3款嘅嗰個鈣磷比例咧係高過咗呢個 歐洲 FEDIF 嘅建議範圍嘅，即係講緊係1.5比1至到2比1，而兩款嘅樣本咧就稍為咧係低過建議嘅範圍。至於副食糧嘅樣本當中啦，有3款嘅比例咧，呢個磷鈣比例咧都係稍為咧係超出咗呢個歐洲指引嘅建議範圍。適當嘅磷鈣比例咧，其實嘅兔糧咧係有助於兔仔咧維持健康嘅身體機能嘅。但係我哋見到有3款嘅主食糧啦，以及1款嘅副食糧咧，係可以淨係呢4款咧可以符合到相關建議。鈣磷比例失衡嘅話咧，加上欠缺足夠嘅咀嚼咧，其實可能會令到兔仔咧嘅牙齒係過度生長啦，甚至可能會出現一啲嘅膿腫嘅。此外，全部樣本中有2款嘅鈣含量咧係分別達到1.15%同埋1.16%，超出咗歐洲指引嘅安全上限建議1%。而美國食品及藥物管理局 FDA 咧亦都指出，長期餵飼高鈣質嘅膳食俾兔仔咧，都可能會令到佢哋顯得疲倦啦，出現血尿，甚至可能因為食慾下降咧而有呢個致命嘅風險嘅。而至於維他命 D 啦，適量嘅維他命 D 咧係可以幫助維持兔仔體內嘅鈣同埋磷嘅平衡，維持骨健康嘅呢個強健嘅骨骼。歐洲 FEDIAF 嘅建議咧就係兔仔喺膳食嘅中嘅維他命 D 含量咧應該介乎每公斤飼料800個 IU 至到1000個 IU。然而4次測試中咧，只有2款嘅主食糧嘅樣本咧，嗰個維他命 D 含量係符合所建議嘅嗰個含量嘅範圍嘅。其餘10款嘅樣本咧，維他命 D 含量咧都係極為參差。其中有3款嘅主食糧咧，我哋見到嗰個維他命 D3嘅含量咧係較高嘅，超出咗建議嘅最高限值，即係講最高數值，即係每公斤1000啦，但係就未有超出呢個安全上限建議，即係每公斤2000 IU。另外有3款嘅主食糧咧就偏低。值得注意嘅咧係我哋檢測到含量最高嘅1款主食糧咧，同另一款主食糧咧係完全冇檢出任何維他命 D3嘅。餘下嘅4款副食糧樣本當中啦，檢出嘅維他命 D3嘅含量咧都低過咗相關建議嘅含量範圍。最低嘅1款樣本咧就只係每公斤咧係有呢個288個 IU。消費者提醒啦，兔仔喺長期食用維他命 D 含量過高嘅膳食咧，有機會係出現高血鈣嘅情況，出現口渴、尿量增加、虛弱同埋食慾下降等嘅症狀，甚至係有致命嘅風險嘅。而相反啦，長期缺乏維他命 D 咧，就可能引致牙齒同埋骨骼嘅問題。有3款副食糧咧嘅樣本咧，其實就未喺呢個包裝上面係標示屬於呢個補充性寵物食品啦。而當中一本樣本咧就亦都冇説明咧係需要配合大量嘅飼草或者呢個乾草去餵飼嘅。若果長期將副食糧咧當作主食糧去餵飼兔仔咧，其實係未能夠提供全面或者均衡嘅營養。此外，唔同品牌嘅兔糧所建議嘅每日餵飼食份量咧差異好大。以體重1.5公斤嘅兔仔去計算，7款嘅主食糧建議每日餵飼嘅份量咧由26克咧去到至到平均110克不等嘅。另外有1款嘅樣本咧更加係講明咧可以無限量咁餵飼嘅。而副食糧樣本當中嘅餵飼份量咧，亦由25克啦，去到平均45克不等。如果撇除乾草同埋呢個蔬菜嘅費用，按樣本嘅指引去餵飼各種嘅兔糧咧，每日所需要嘅費用咧係由介乎個1咧至到13個6，相差咧係可以超過11倍。消費者喺選購兔糧之前咧，應該係留意以下幾點嘅。咁第一樣就係要講緊去參考翻究竟產品標籤上面嘅建議啦，按翻兔仔本身個體重去選取翻一個合適嘅份量，按照翻寵物嘅年齡、身體狀況，例如佢係咪成長緊啦，係咪一個懷孕緊啦，或者佢係咪餵飼緊母乳等嘅階段咧，去調節翻嗰個份量啦。亦都睇埋佢嘅活躍嘅程度、健康情況、環境溫度等等因素咧，去做適當嘅調節。絕對係唔建議咧係無限量咧去餵飼呢一個兔糧嘅。兔仔嘅膳食咧應該係以大量嘅牧草啦同埋乾草為主嘅，並且配合適當嘅份量，有唔同種類嘅新鮮蔬菜啦，同埋適量嘅兔糧啦，以及係應該要經常係備有清潔嘅食水嘅。 而最後一篇咧係關於呢個不合情理合約條款嘅。咁消費者委員會喺過去咧曾經發表過有關呢個標準格式消費合約不公平條款嘅研究報告。咁揭示咗其實唔少嘅商戶嘅標準格式消費合約入邊咧，普遍都存有一啲有違誠信啦嘅唔公平嘅條款嘅。咁意圖係卸責啦，或者承擔因呢個違約、疏忽、失實陳述，以至其他違反法律嘅責任等等嘅不公平嘅免責條款，損害消費者嘅權益。消委會喺檢視多年咗一啲有關喺呢個法庭嘅案例啦，或者消費者本身我哋嗰個消費者訴訟基金曾經處理過嘅個案咧，發現咗唔同商戶喺同消費者訂立嘅合約列明對自身嘅一啲嘅有利嘅條款嘅。消費者強調，面對極為不公、苛刻或者不合情理嘅合約條款咧，消費者係可以援引呢個不合情理合約條例，循呢個法律途徑咧向呢個商戶咧去討回公道。根據過去嘅案例啦，法庭按呢個條例裁定一啲合約或者部分條款為不合情理，而係拒絕強制執行呢個合約，或者當中唔合情理嘅部分啦，修正啦，或者更改唔合情理部分嘅部分，或者限制佢嘅適用範圍，去保障翻消費者嘅權益。消委會亦都敦促呢個商戶咧，應該係待客已成，唔好以為只係喺合約條款訂立咗呢個不合情理嘅條款咧，就可以予取予攜，肆意損害呢個消費者嘅權益。1995年生效嘅不合情理合約條款咧，係未有定明何為咩叫做不合情理嘅。咁但係普遍我哋可以理解為就係不按良心所做嘅事，唔一定係涉及不誠實、欺詐或者蓄意嘅不當行為，亦都唔受普通法同埋呢個衡平法嘅傳統概念所約束。根據案例咧，商戶咧係必須知悉或者應該知悉咧，並且係故意利用消費者處於弱勢嘅議價地位，促成不合理嘅交易。單純條款嘅不公平或者消費者處於弱勢嘅情況咧，係未必足以構成呢個不合情理㗎。條例廣泛應用喺各行各業啦，包括講緊係金融、時光共享、美容以及健身行業等等。消委會作為呢個信託人，作為呢個消費者訴訟基金嘅信託人咧，提供嘅法律案件當中咧，亦都不時咧係會引用呢個條例咧，去為消費者成功爭取公義嘅呢個審判結果嘅。咁有兩個案例咧係想同大家做分享嘅。咁第一個咧係關於呢個健身中心健身器材嘅。咁有事主咧就係一名智力偏低啦，做兼職服務員嘅年輕人士。咁被銷售員咧係有時去到呢個健身中心咧，去要求簽署價值超過15萬元嘅健身會籍啦，同埋個人訓練嘅合約。咁由職員咧去護送去喺簽完之後咧，其實就嗰個事主咧就由職員咧護送去到附近提款機咧去提取現金去付款。更根據呢個健身中心預設嘅台詞咧去進行個錄音，表示咧係佢自願去付款嘅。咁雖然合約咧亦都有呢個有7日呢個冷靜期嘅條款啦，咁但係原來佢亦都有啲細節咧係列明咗冷靜期。如果假設當事人咧係使用呢個使用健身室設備嘅時候咧，就會失效啦。咁當事人同喺職員嗰個施加壓力之下啦，咁就使用咗呢個健身器材約10分鐘。咁法庭就認為有關嘅合約咧實屬係不合情理㗎。職員利用當事人嘅精神狀態同埋較弱嘅議價地位咧，去損害佢嘅判斷力，令到佢喺簽署合約同埋付款前咧，其實都冇足夠嘅時間去閱讀同埋理解合約。職員亦都冇喺過程嘅解釋返合約中嘅冷靜期嘅條款。法庭認為咧，該健身中心咧顯然係採用咗不誠實嘅策略，所以法庭係頒令咗咧撤銷合約啦，同埋命令呢個健身中心咧去退還已經支付咗嘅15萬元嘅。另一個個案咧就係關於呢個時光共享。咁有一間公司就係以換取禮券咧去利誘我哋嘅當事人啦，去參與所謂嘅90分鐘嘅講座。結果咧就變成咗一個4個鐘頭嘅銷售。咁期間當事人咧更加被一名嘅職員咧係用手壓住佢嘅肩膊咧，直到佢簽署呢個合約嘅。 並且係即時拍照同埋填寫問卷。咁法庭咧就認為商戶誘使當事人同埋用緊呢個咄咄逼人嘅銷售方法啦，令到當事人喺簽署合約嘅時候咧係冇足夠嘅時間閱讀該文件同埋尋求獨立嘅意見，最終喺一個不當嘅影響同埋脅迫嘅情況之下咧去簽署呢份合約。法庭認為有4項嘅條款咧係屬於不合情理嘅。咁第一啦就係講緊第一個條款就係話要喺2018年至到2027年期間啦，當事人咧每年只係可以行使一次嘅會員權利，每年或者每2年咧入住呢1個禮拜指定酒店。而第二咧就係講緊當事人咧只係可以喺進一步支付額外嘅費用之後咧，先至可以喺2027年至到2039年期間咧繼續享有該權利。第三咧就係該類嘅費用咧，其實係冇係啱啱提及嘅嗰個費用咧係冇喺合約中列明嘅。而第四咧就係講緊，除非咧要喺2年前進行預訂，否則咧係無法保證咧酒店預訂成功嘅。咁最後咧，法庭係頒令咧撤銷合約，並且命令嗰個商戶咧去退還已支付嘅款項。雖然咧條例係可以保障到消費者喺遇到不合情理嘅合約或者條款時嘅法律權益，然而咧消費者亦都喺度提醒啦，消費者係需要負有呢個舉證嘅責任嘅，並且係需要通過好漫長同埋昂貴嘅民事訴訟去討回公道。所以消費者應該係時刻保持警惕，喺簽署任何合約之前咧，應該係仔細閱讀同埋了解條款細則，考慮係咪需要相關嘅產品或者服務，以至自己嘅個人嘅負擔能力，同埋如果有需要嘅時候係需要諮詢獨立意見咧，先去作出呢個消費嘅決定嘅。咁以上就係今日想同大家分享嘅5篇文章。So I'm going to recap the 5 articles in the current choice issue. The first one is about the gel nail polish. The Consumer Council tested 25 models of soak-off gel nail polish products available on the market. Almost 70% were detected with one or more carcinogenic, which have been banned by the EU, including benzene, formaldehyde, and PAH. The price of the 25 tested models ranged from $88 to $238 per bottle, a difference of almost 2 times. 8 models were not detected with any of the tested EU-banned carcinogens. The 2 most expensive models and the cheapest model were all amongst the best performing models, reflecting that good quality products are available across different price ranges. According to the Classification, Labeling and Packaging of Substances and Mixtures (CLP) regulation of the EU, CMR substances are chemicals classified as carcinogenic, mutagenic, and toxic for reproduction. According to the Cosmetic Directive, CMR substances shall not be used as raw materials in the production of any cosmetic products. In this study, formaldehyde, benzene, toluene, NDELA, and certain members of PAH and phthalates were classified as CMR substances. Solvents are used in the nail polish to dissolve and allow the mixture of ingredients together, which will usually evaporate as nail polish dries. Benzene is classified as a carcinogenic category 1A and mutagenic category 1-2 substance, and its intentional use in cosmetic is prohibited by both the EU Cosmetic Directive and the mainland safety and technical standards for cosmetics. On the long run, it could increase the risk of cancer and damage the nervous and immune system. In the test, 1 model was detected with 0.28 milligram per kilogram of benzene. Despite low detected amount, the Consumer Council recommends consumers to avoid using products containing benzene, as it is known carcinogen for humans. All samples were found with toluene, a toxic for reproduction category 2 substance. The detected amount complied with the EU Cosmetic Directive's upper limit, set for toluene applicable only to nail polish. as toluene could pose greater health risks to children and fetuses in the developmental stage. Pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers should refrain from using products with toluene. Lastly, xylene was detected in close to half of the tested models. Formaldehyde is commonly used as preservative and antimicrobial agents in cosmetics. It is also often added to nail polish due to its unique property of binding with the natural keratin in nails, thus hardening the nails for easier manicure work. However, the use of formaldehyde in cosmetics products has been prohibited by the Cosmetic Directive since 2019, as it is classified as carcinogenic category 1B, mutagenic category 2, acute toxic category 3. In the Council's text, 3 models were detected with free formaldehyde, though the levels still comply with the mainland's safety and technical standards for cosmetic 2015. PAH are harmful contaminants commonly found in plastic and organic solvents. In the test, 6 types of PAH were found in 16 samples. Of these, 3 are prohibited for use in cosmetics by the EU Cosmetic Directive, including atrazine and benzoatracine. Both are carcinogenic category 1B, and naphthalene, a carcinogenic category 2 and chronic toxic category 4 substance, as classified by the CLP regulation. 14 models were detected with 1 to 2 types of EU-banned carcinogenic PAHs. Naphthalene was found in 13 models. 1 model was detected with ethylene. Another model was found with benzoatracine, while this same model was also detected with naphthalene. As soft gel nail polish must be cured under UV lights, improper use of UV lamps or prolonged UV exposure may lead to health hazards. Close proximity with the UV lights would not only result in pigmentation in the skin around the nails, it may even cause skin damage in more severe cases and increase the risk of skin cancer. The Council recommends consumers to avoid having gel manicures too frequently and to consider applying sun cream products to the hands before exposing to UV lights. Only 8 models include a detailed list of ingredients in English on the bottle or packaging. Another 9 models only displayed ingredients information in Korean or Japanese, whereas the remaining 8 models did not contain any ingredients information. As gel nail polish must be cured under a UV lamp, relevant instructions are important information for consumers in order to use the product properly. However, only 7 models clearly displayed such usage instruction in English on the packaging, while the remaining 18 models lack such information. The Council strongly urges manufacturers to improve their labeling and to provide comprehensive and legible information to safeguard consumers' health. The second article is about the mouthwash. The Consumer Council conducted a survey on 32 models of mouthwash products and discovered that the ingredients, functions, and precautions for use varied considerably. Consumers are advised to understand the ingredients and functions of different mouthwashes products before choosing a suitable product that addresses their personal needs, such as oral hygiene maintenance, teeth strengthening, halitosis eliminations, and teeth whitening. Consumers should note that prolonged use of mouthwashes containing CPC or chlorhexidine might stain the teeth and temporarily affect the sense of taste for some individuals. 1 model was labeled with PVPI as the main bactericidal ingredients. As an over-the-counter medicine, PVPI releases free iodine during its reaction, and therefore such products are not recommended for pregnant women and patients with thyroid disease. Consumers should also be aware that mouthwashes with whitening functions generally contain only a low concentration of hydrogen peroxide, which is much lower than the concentration used by dentists in teeth whitening procedures. Therefore, the whitening effect for the tooth surface may not be observable within a short period of time. Consumers are advised not to use hydrogen peroxide of high concentration on their own. The consumers arranged for 5 adult participants to trial use the 32 models. The results revealed that the irritating levels of most models were mild to moderate. After comparing the claimed alcohol content of each model with participant opinions regarding irritating level, no significant relationship was observed between the two. Some consumers might believe mouthwash products containing alcohol could have a better antiseptic efficacy. However, according to the WHO guidelines, the alcohol concentration would need to reach 60 to 80% in order to effectively kill bacteria and viruses, whereas the concentration of alcohol in mouthwash products are generally lower than this level. The use of mouthwash alone may not be able to cure related oral hygiene issues. A total of 10 surveyed models were labeled as containing fluoride, which could prevent tooth decay. The fluoride content in the mouthwash products is lower than that of toothpaste. Generally, therefore, it is not advisable to completely replace toothpaste with mouthwashes products for the purpose of fluoride intake. Only 22 models were labeled with detailed ingredients information in Chinese or English. 8 models only had Japanese information, and 2 models were found with no ingredient information at all. For the products which may potentially leave stains on the teeth, temporarily affect the sense of taste, or pose health risks on certain individuals, only 2 models provide reminders to consumers regarding the issue. The Council recommends relevant manufacturers to insert comprehensive reminders on the labels to protect consumers' right in making informed choices. Despite the fact that mouthwash is a common household oral care product, different family members may have different needs. The Department of Health does not recommend the use of mouthwash products for young children under the age of 6. Even if necessary, they should be supervised by an adult when using the product. Individuals with removable dentures should note that distortion, color fading, and rusting may occur if their dentures are soaked under mouthwash for too long. Dentures can be cleaned with a toothbrush and detergent or soaked with water with dedicated denture cleansing tablets. The best and the most effective approach for teeth cleaning should be a combination of correctly brushing the teeth together with the use of floss and, where appropriate, interdental brushes. The reason being that the dental plaque on the teeth surface can only be removed with a toothbrush and dental floss, whereas mouthwash product cannot penetrate the plaque thoroughly and effectively. As such, mouthwash products should only be considered as an auxiliary product for oral care and should be complemented with good cleaning habits for the ideal outcome. The third one is about credit card cash rebate. The Consumer Council's market survey revealed vastly different details amongst various spending cash rebate schemes, such as the eligible spending, redemption rate, minimum spend requirement, maximum rebate limit, and etc. Whereas the cash rebate rate could be varied by over 26 times. The Council sought information from 20 cards issuers about their credit card spending cash rebate schemes and reviewed the relevant website of one bank. The purpose was to survey the standard spending cash rebate schemes of personal credit cards operated by the card issuers, as well as time-limited spending card rebate schemes valid between August and October with a promotional period of 1 month or more, so as to understand the rewards calculations formula and relevant terms and restrictions. Amongst the 21 card issuers in the survey, the highest rebate rate could be as high as 6%, more than 26-fold difference as compared with the scheme with the lowest rebate rate of 0.22%. Whereas the general rebate rate ranged from 0.4 to 0.5%. The forms of rebate include depositing the cash rebate directly into the cardholder credit card account, automatic deduction from the current or following month's statement balance, or directly depositing the cash rebate into the cardholder saving account under the same issuer. On the other hand, some schemes required cardholders to redeem the cash rebate, other gifts, merchant gifts, vouchers, or services, and etc., through the reward scheme after accumulating a certain reward quantity. For this type of reward schemes, cardholders need to be mindful of the reward points validity period and redeem before the points expire. Consumers should note that not all transactions are qualified for the eligible spending requirements. Out of the 20 card issuers that respond, most defined cash advance, credit card annual fees or financial charges, purchase of casino tokens, and tax payments as non-eligible spending. Some time-limited reward scheme may appear more favorable than the standard schemes. However, time-limited schemes generally come with more conditions, such as cash rebate limit, higher minimum spending per transaction, or higher monthly eligible spending requirement than the standard schemes. Whereas the cash rebate usually requires a longer processing time before it is depositing into the cardholder's account. Consumers should carefully consider the various conditions and restrictions before spending with credit cards and avoiding rushing into high-value transactions due to the perks of the time-limited scheme, therefore leading to unnecessary spending or overconsumption. Even with the same credit card spending during the same period under the same scheme, consumers with different spending models may not earn a higher cash rebate amount with time-limited schemes than the standard scheme. Consumers with higher spending may not receive a more substantial reward or cash rebate. In the scenario where two consumers have respective spending amounts $5,004 and $15,000, a difference of almost 2 times, the cash rebate earned by the higher spending consumers will only 1.6 times more than that of the other consumers due to the monthly rebate limit of the time limited scheme. When selecting a credit card or spending reward scheme, apart from considering the spending rewards or cash rebate, consumers should also consider their personal consumption mode, the key terms of credit card contracts, conditions, and restrictions for spending rewards, as well as assessing their own financial situation and ability to repay, so as to be a prudent consumer. The fourth article is about rabbit feed. In the Consumer Council test on 12 rabbit feed models for adult rabbit, which claim to be complete feed or complementary feed, various nutritional problems were found amongst all models, failing to completely comply with the relevant recommendations of the EU's guidelines for complete pet foods. If these models were used as a long-term staple diet, it would pose health risks to rabbits. The consumer also urges pet food manufacturers to improve the content of various nutrients in the pet food so as to safeguard the health of small animals. Amongst the 12 models, 8 claimed to be complete pet food. Most complete feed models stated that the diet must be supplemented with a large or even unlimited quantity of hay. Of the remaining 4 models, one stated that it was a complementary pet food, while the other 3 did not specify the category of the product on the labeling. The models were bought from pet supply stores and online shops at a price range from $46 to $241 per pouch. equivalently to approximately $4.2 to $30.1 per 100 gram, a huge disparity in the retail price. The tax was conducted with reference to the recommendation for pet rabbits at different life stages established by the European Pet Food Industry Federation, FEDIAF, as well as the nutrient requirements of rabbits by the U.S. National Research Council, NRC. Over 60% of the 8 complete feed models were detected with insufficient or excessive amount of at least one macronutrients, which are proteins, fibers, fat, or starch, including one model that failed to meet the EU's FEDIAF guidelines for free macronutrients content. The fat is an important source of energy and essential fatty acids. However, if rabbits consume a high-fat, high-calorie diet over an extended period, they may become overweight. A high-fiber diet helps to maintain proper gut movement and dental health in rabbits. However, the amount of good fiber detected varied considerably amongst models, ranging from 9 to 27.3%. 2 of complete food models had a lower fiber content, which is lower than the FEDIAF recommendation for adult pet rabbits. The text also found that all models have 1 to 3 types of mineral issues related to calcium, phosphorus, sodium, and magnesium content, or calcium to phosphorus ratio, which failed to meet the recommendations of the FEDIAF guidelines. A suitable amount of vitamin D can help maintain the balance of calcium and phosphorus in the rabbit's body and maintain healthy bones. The vitamin D3 content of only 2 complete feed models met the recommendations of the guidelines, while that of the remaining 10 models varied considerably. The consumer reminds owners that rabbits who consume an excessive amount of vitamin D for a prolonged period are at risk of developing hypercalcemia. On the contrary, chronic vitamin D deficiency can lead to dental and bone problems. 3 complementary feed models did not state on the packaging that the product was a supplementary pet food, in which one model did not state that it should be fed with a large amount of grass or hay. If complementary pet food are served as a staple food over an extended period, it could not be able to provide a complete and balanced nutrition to pet rabbits. Additionally, certain models only roughly specified that the feed can be fed without limit or did not come with a measuring cup, which could lead to overfeeding, increasing the risk of overweight or even obesity in rabbits. All of the above factors could lead to misfeeding by rabbit owners. The last article is about unconscionable contract ordinance. Attractive shopping offers or limited time flash rewards could be easily drive consumers into making hasty purchasing decisions, overlooking the devils in the details of the relevant contractual terms. Some consumers may also succumb to high pleasure sales tactics of traders or did not have the chance to read and understand the lengthy and convoluted contractual terms, thus falling into sales traps. In the unfair terms in Standard Form's Consumer Contract Study Report, previously published by for the Consumer Council, it was revealed that some Standard Form consumer contracts include unfair terms that are contrary to the requirements of good health. It is not common to find unfair exceptional clauses that sought to exclude or limit the liability of suppliers for breach of contract, negligence, misrepresentation, or other breach of duty to the detriment of the consumers. The consumer stresses that when challenged by unfair, draconian, or unconscionable terms, consumers may seek redress through legal actions by invoking the Unconscionable Contract Ordinance. The courts have, from time to time, held certain contracts or terms to be unconscionable and refused to enforce the contract, or the unconscionable part of the contract revised or altered the unconscionable part and limit its application to safeguard consumer rights. The Council also urges traders to uphold fair business conduct. They should not harbor the impression that they could bluntly infringe on consumers' rights by simply including unconscionable terms in the contract. Whilst the Unconscionable Contract Ordinance promulgated in 1995 does not define the term unconscionable, it is generally interpreted as against conscience, which does not necessarily involve dishonest, fraudulent, or intentional misconduct, and is not bound by traditional common law and equitable concepts. When determining whether a contract or clause is conscionable, the court will consider all relevant and reasonably foreseeable circumstances relating to the contract at all time it was made, such as the bargaining position of the consumers and the trader, the consumer's ability to understand the terms, whether any undue influence was exerted by the traders, and whether the consumer could have acquired equivalent goods or services from other traders. According to the case precedents, the traders must or should have known about and had deliberately exploited the weaker bargaining position of the consumers, implying about the unconscionable transactions. An unfair term and or the consumer being in a weaker bargaining position on its own may not be sufficient to make out a case for unconscionable contract. The ordinance has been broadly applied to consumer contract disputes of various industries, including the financial, timeshare, beauty, and fitness industries. The ordinance has also been successfully invoked from time to time in cases assisted by CLEF, for which the Council acts as a trustee in seeking judicial redress for the consumers. I have a case to share. It's about a cooling off period due to coerced use of gym equipment. A young individual with mild intellectual disability working as a part-time service attendant was enticed by a salesperson to a fitness center where he was requested to sign a gym membership and personal training contract valued at $150,000. The salesperson claimed that the contract had already been filled in with his information and requested immediately payment. The consumer signed the contract and was escorted by the staff to withdraw cash from an ATM nearby. He then completed a voice recording following a script provided by the fitness center, stated that it was a voluntary transaction. Although the contract included a 7-day cooling off period, the clause was stated in small print and provided that the cooling off period will be notified upon use of the gym equipment. The consumer then used the equipment for around 10 minutes under the concession of the staff. The court held that the contract was unconscionable given that the staff has exploited the consumer's mental state and weaker bargaining position to impair his judgment. The consumer did not have sufficient time to read and understand the contract. Furthermore, the staff did not explain the cooling off period clause and further pressurized the consumer into using the equipment. The court was of the view that the fitness center had clearly employed dishonest sales tactics. The contract was rescinded and the center was ordered to refund the payment of around $150,000. Although the ordinance serves to protect the rights of consumers in the face of unconscionable contract or terms, the Council reminds consumers that they bear the burden of proof in protracted and expensive civil proceedings, the outcome of which very much depends on the court findings of fact and views. Further, even if the court finds that some terms were unconscionable, the consumer may not be able to obtain the relief they decide, such as rescission of the whole contract or full refund. As such, consumers should remain vigilant and scrutinize the terms and conditions before entering into any contract. They should also consider whether they need or could afford the goods or services and seek independent advice as required before making a purchasing decision. That's all the 5 articles of today we would like to share.
唔該曬蘇建偉先生。咁我哋而家就進入答問嘅環節嘅。咁首先我哋係先問咗關於漱口水嘅問題先啦。係啦，咁就有一條問題咧，就係而家咧有冇法例監管或者有冇國際標準指引咧，去建議漱口水所含嘅成分嚟到確保唔會對人體嘅健康構成風險嘅咧？
就住呢個漱口水嗰個法例嗰個問題啦，咁其實一般用途嘅漱口水咧，其實都已經係受到呢個消費品嘅安全條例所監管嘅。咁根據該條例啦，消費品咧係必須符合一般安全嘅規定，即係相關嘅製造商啦、進口商啦同埋供應商咧係有責任咧確保嗰個消費品咧係達到合理嘅安全程度嘅。咁當中嘅考慮包括嗰個消費品採用嘅標記啦、存放啦、使用嘅指示或者警告啦，同埋標準嘅檢定機構咧相關嘅合理嘅安全標準。咁頭先提過有啲可能會有藥用嘅漱口水啦，咁所以如果係有藥用功效嘅漱口水咧，就會受到另一條條例嘅監管嘅，嗰條就係藥劑業及毒藥條例。咁就會講明都係產品係必須要符合安全啦、品質啦同埋成效方面嘅規定，之後先可以向呢個有關當局咧去做註冊，然之後先至可以再銷售或者供應嘅。咁是次調查咧，其實我哋都有啲樣本咧係屬於已經註冊嘅產品嚟嘅。咁所以一般喺市面上出售嘅漱口水咧，都係安全可以使用嘅。
喺呢度咧，我都想補充少少，就係嗰個標籤嗰個問題啊。因為咧，就我哋今次咧喺今次呢個產品檢視裏面咧，都發現咧有唔少嗰個嘅產品咧，都係欠缺咗啲清楚嘅標籤，譬如話有啲淨係得日文啦，有啲咧就係有冇講話係啱細路仔使用啦，或者係講到明就唔啱呢一個6歲以下嘅兒童使用啦。因為衛生署咧都建議咧，其實6歲以下嘅兒童咧都唔係好適宜咧就係用呢個漱口水嘅。咁所以若果係欠缺咗呢一個清楚嘅產品嘅標籤嘅話咧，咁其實對個消費者嚟講，點樣去揀嗰個成分，點樣去了解嗰個使用方法，同埋咧有啲咩地方需要注意咧？如果係唔清楚標示嘅話咧，係對個消費者嗰個知情權嚟講咧，都係受到呢一個損害嘅。咁所以喺呢一度咧，我都想請啲廠商咧，就係再重新檢視翻佢哋嘅標籤啦，俾清楚嘅指引，有關於成分，有關於嗰個要留意嘅地方，同埋嗰個使用方法，咁樣對個消費者嚟講咧，亦都係會比較好啲。咁而消費者咧，亦都提醒大家一句咧，就千祈唔好揀漱口水咧，純粹講考慮嘅因素，純粹睇下個包裝啦、size 啦、價錢啦，又或者顏色啦，去決定或者係個味道揦唔揦啊，咁樣去決定你嗰個買漱口水嗰個嘅考慮因素。因為其實我哋發現係唔同嘅成分嘅漱口水，佢哋嘅功能都可能會唔同。譬如話有啲係主要係殺菌嘅，有啲可能係美白嘅，有啲可能係護齒嘅。有啲就可能有幾樣都有，但係有我哋叫做幾樣成分都有啲咁樣啦。咁所以咧就大家真係要學識下咧，就係去睇呢個漱口水嘅成分同埋咧就係嗰個使用嘅方法都係非常之重要嘅。咁請大家都要留意翻下啦。
好，唔該晒兩位。咁跟住落嚟，我哋就係關於信用卡現金回贈嘅問題嘅。咁就呢個問題咧，就係而家嘅消費者咧，普遍都擁有好多張信用卡㗎啦。咁消委會其實有啲咩 tips 俾消費者咧？點樣可以利用啲積分嚟到賺到盡呢？
其實咧，首先要搞清楚一個概念咧。就大家去攞張信用卡嗰個嘅用途咧，就希望大家方便你哋作一個電子嗰方面嘅支付。咁同埋咧，唔同信用卡咧都有佢嗰個嘅保障啦，或者係提供唔同嘅一啲叫做 附加嘅一啲服務譬如話幫你去訂位啊，又或者去到機場嗰陣時有啲機場貴賓室啊咁樣樣可以有一啲其他嘅服務咧係提供俾大家嘅。咁所以咧就當大家去用一張信用卡嗰陣時咧，如果係純粹攞一張卡係諗住賺到盡嗰啲分嘅話咧，咁就真係要留意啦。因為咧喺今次嗰個嘅比較裏面咧，咁其實明顯你睇到咧喺一個恆常計劃裏面，即係話你攞咗嗰啲信用卡之後咧，就無論係咪參與一啲嘅推廣計劃都好啦，係你都一定會簽帳嗰陣時咧，你就會攞到佢嗰個嘅回贈。咁而嗰個回贈咧就發現咧，咁其實就嗰個比例上邊咧都係會比較參差啲。一般嚟講咧就大約係介乎0.4去到0.5%你個簽帳額。咁但係咧，若果係話嗰個恆常計劃裡面嗰個比率可以相差幾大咧？可以最高咧可以去到6%。咁而最低嘅0.22嗰個 percent 咧，相差咧可以係26倍。咁所以若果諗住喺恆常計劃裡面係其實你都唔係好理嗰啲推廣計劃嘅話咧，恆常計劃裡面咁啊，大家可以參考下，會唔會想揾一張卡咧？佢一個恆常計劃嗰方面嗰個嘅比率係會比較高啲。咁呢個考慮點第一。咁第二點咧就係嗰啲要留意嘅咧，亦都係一啲叫推廣計劃啦，係一啲限時嘅計劃啦。因為限時嘅計劃裡面咧，正如我哋頭先所講啦，咁其實佢都自然有好多唔同嘅限制嘅，包括你個簽帳額有冇呢一個下限啦，即係最少簽幾多啦，跟住然後有冇一個 quota 啦，即係上限嘅個限額啦，究竟個時限係幾多啦，又或者係佢哋嗰個會唔會係被換嘅分係亦都係有一個上限，同埋咧就係之後係點樣去處理你使多咗嘅分咧，等等嘅呢一啲嘅魔鬼細節啦，可以講話，咁大家都係需要留意嘅。咁所以咧，你話要賺到盡咧，其實真係對消費者嚟講咧，唔係咁輕易嘅一件事，除非你好有時間。每一個計劃係睇清睇楚，你自己揾個計數機撳清楚，同埋亦都要考慮埋自己本身嗰個嘅消費習慣，究竟我使唔使到每一次嘅消費都一定要都可以滿足到佢嗰個最低嗰個嘅消費個金額呢？咁呢啲所有嘅因素呢，都係會令到大家即係要再重新去再諗過，究竟一啲嘅推廣優惠係咪可以令到幫你可以賺到盡？咁因為我哋今次嘅研究裏面咧，都會睇到咧，有啲嘅恆常有啲嘅限時計劃咧，其實係咪真係好抵咧？就真係可以講話係可圈可點嘅。咁所以大家咧喺呢一方面都要留意。所以好難講話係咪咩叫賺到盡，但係如果你諗住係起碼你個回贈嗰個金額係會比較高啲嘅話咧，咁我諗第一件事睇一睇翻恆常計劃，第二件事咧就係嗰啲限時計劃嘅話咧，大家真係要睇清楚嗰啲條款，先至好決定會唔會喺嗰張信用卡嗰度咧係會加大你嗰個嘅簽帳咯。
OK，跟住落嚟都仲要係信用卡嘅問題。This is an English question from the RTHK English News. For the credit card cash rebate, would you elaborate more on the specifics of any relevant disputes? Are there any extreme cases?
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the number of complaint cases first. For the first 11 months, so this year, we received 26 cases versus 9 cases as compared with last year. So that means we have almost doubled the number of complaints that we received. And the types of complaints mainly is about the rebate. It's attributed to 10 cases, and 5 cases is about a price dispute, about the admin fee, administration fee, and also there's a change in terms, so there's a price dispute, 5 cases. And 9 cases is about the release of gift or discount from the merchants. In actual facts, their nature is very similar, although the category it seems different. It's mostly about when I apply your card and try to enjoy or take, the privilege from different promotions, but at the end, there were disputes about, first of all, whether I can enjoy the rebate, how you present the terms and conditions, especially the timeline, the promotional period of it, and also how you calculate the different kinds of rebate, all attribute to all these disputes. So this is exactly the reason why we make a comparison about the credit card rebate scheme due to the increase of, due to the surge in the number of complaint cases that we receive in this year. If you talk about specific case, let me check. There's one case is very interesting. All right, there's one case is about the promotions when they put it online on their web pages. They said the promotion actually take effect right now, immediately. And if the consumer saw this promotion about a partner with a handset company, that if you buy from the platform or the shop, the e-shop of the handset brand, then the consumer can enjoy certain discount from the handset, 10% discount from the handset shop, and the rebate will be put back to the account of the complainant of the credit card account. But turned out to be the promotion in actual fact start on a certain date that has already been overdue when the consumer saw that, and also the release date of the promotion in actual fact has already passed as well. So the complainant felt it's extremely misleading, because if you claim that it took immediate effect, that means I can enjoy it right now, but at the end of the day, it turned out to be it has already passed the date for the promotion. This is very, very strange. So that's why the complainant came to the Consumer Council to ask for support. And in actual fact, beforehand, the complainant has already tried his very best to negotiate with the bank as well as the handset platform, the e-shop, but it's failed. So that's why the complainant came to us. So with all the different cases, although the nitty-gritties, the details could be very different because there are different promotions, but the nature of it is very similar. It's all about how to calculate the effective date, whether the presentation online is misleading or not, etc. And also some of them require registration. If you register for it, then you have to register for it before you can enjoy the promotion. But for some complainant, they said they have registered, but turned out it is not on record. They could not enjoy the promotional offer. That also caused a dispute and also increased the number of complaints that the Consumer Council received in this year.
好，唔該晒。咁跟住咧係關於套糧嘅問題嘅。咁有大部分嘅主食糧嘅樣本咧都有講明話需要配合大量甚至無限量嘅乾草嚟到餵飼嘅。明報嘅記者就問到咧，如果我哋只係配合即係有跟住佢咁配合乾草餵飼，係咪就已經能夠平衡兔仔所需要攝取嘅營養咧？
我諗唔淨止咁簡單啦，因為當然係兔仔咧係需要配合大量嘅乾草作為佢嘅主食糧嘅，因為咧對佢個牙齒啊或者係骨骼嘅發育啊等等咧呢一方面咧都係需要嘅。咁但係嗰個營養素嗰個嘅本身嗰個配合啦，喺今次我哋嚟講係不論係嗰個脂肪啦，或者係鈣啊、磷啊嗰個嘅比例啊，或者係維他命 D 啊等等嘅嘢咧，都係對嗰個兔仔咧一個咁細隻嘅一個小動物咧，都係非常之重要嘅。咁所以咧就大家係需要咧，就係要全面咁樣可以話係非常之全面咁樣幫佢設計佢嗰個嘅食量。咁而咧點解話一定要有去翻嗰個點解一定要有好多牧草同埋乾草咧？就因為佢含有好豐富嘅纖維，亦都係維他命 D 嘅重要來源，所以咧就係對佢嗰個牙齒發育啦同埋嗰個腸道咧係非常之緊要嘅。咁就咁但係咧，我哋今次咧亦都會睇到咧，所用嘅乾糧嘅產品咧喺今次嘅測試裏面咧，若果係唔夠足夠嘅話咧，但係若果可以餵飼多啲嗰個嘅牧草稻草咧，都係會有所幫助。同埋咧就要加一啲比較新鮮嘅蔬菜，咁就可以咧就係平衡翻。咁但係點樣去平衡法嘅話咧，都係去翻頭先我嗰句咧，可能啲兔主人咧都要花多啲心思了解下一個 對兔仔嚟講咩為之叫均衡營養？咁如果均衡營養需要啲乜，而好小心地咧就係幫佢計算下，而去餵飼嗰方面咧都係講究呢一方面嘅學問嘅。
好，跟住落嚟咧就係到膠甲油嘅問題嘅。咁呢一個部分咧都有幾多問題嘅，所以我逐個嚟問啦。咁首先咧就係 Now TV 嘅問題嘅。咁就住呢個檢測結果咧，所有樣本都發現含有甲苯啦，係咪即係話咧係咪即使係所含嘅比例好少，都會對人體造成影響？咁係咪所有產品都唔適合懷孕同埋哺乳中嘅婦女使用咧？
嗱，甲苯咧就係呢一個第2級嘅生殖毒性，咁佢咧就係喺歐盟上邊咧都有一個可以話係叫做限制使用甲油嘅上限。咁今次咧係所有嘅因為呢一個甲苯咧其實係一個好普遍使用嘅一個溶劑嚟嘅。咁而喺今次嘅發現裏面咧，都係所有嘅樣本咧都出現咗呢一個甲苯。咁雖然佢唔係一個禁用嘅物質，係可以存在，咁但係咧始終因為佢係有佢嗰個嘅風險啊，佢個風險係咩咧？就如果係你一次性使用嗰陣時，單次或者短暫咧，就會引起呢個頭痛啦、肌肉疲勞啦、刺激眼睛啦、呼吸道同埋皮膚呢一方面嗰個嘅影響。咁而長期使用嘅話咧，可能係會對肝臟啦、神經系統啦同埋發育中嘅胎兒嘅健康咧係造成一個影響。咁所以咧就若果係想 gel 甲貪靚，係亦都係有呢個甲苯嗰個情況出現嘅話咧，咁我哋只可以建議消費者咧就係盡量係揾一啲嘅甲油啦嚇，喺嗰個甲苯嗰方面嗰個成分咧係會比較低啲嘅成分去使用。咁同埋咧，若果係懷孕嘅婦女啦嚇，咁我哋都係會建議大家咧就係懷孕係10月懷胎係呢段時間，若果係少啲 gel 甲嘅話咧，咁其實咧可能對你嗰個嘅健康嗰個方面咧係會比較安全啲嚇，因為始終係有佢存在嘅風險。咁之後再用翻咁，同埋咧用嗰陣時喺我哋今次嘅測試裏面咧都會發現咧有一啲嘅產品咧係冇存在係歐盟嘅禁用嘅有害物質。雖然係有甲苯，但係佢都係有嗰個含量咧係會比較低。咁所以咧係喺呢啲情況之下咧，去揀一啲比較安全啲嘅產品咧，大家都係有選擇嘅。咁另外咧就係到你 gel 甲嗰陣時啦，頭先都有講到嗰個過程啦，就係唔好過分收走甲邊嗰啲死皮啦，即係唔好過分收甲收得太薄啦啲皮。咁另外咧就係之前有塗上呢一個防曬產品啦。咁同埋咧就係注意甲油咧，係其實呢一啲甲油咧，佢嗰個照嗰陣時，除咗話可能會傷害你個皮膚沉澱色素，可能長期可能有皮膚癌之外咧，就係佢因為啲甲油係會收縮同埋硬乾啦。咁如果照得多咧，其實對你個指甲自己本身咧都可能有傷害。咁所以咧就當你大家做嗰陣時咧，都係需要久唔久唞下自己啲指甲。特別係當你拆完個甲之後，已經發現自己啲指甲係已經比較薄咗啊，亦都係冇以前咁健康嘅話咧，都係會建議大家不如花啲時間去唞一唞，養翻個指甲，俾翻啲營養佢之後，等佢唞一唞，休養下咧，咁可能對你嗰個指甲整體嗰個嘅健康咧，亦都係會比較好啲。咁同埋之後好翻之後再做再扮靚嘅話，都係都可以咁樣做法咯。
其實除咗甲苯之外咧，喺呢個測試入邊咧都有17款咧含有即係其他嘅致癌物啊等等咁啦。咁係IK 寶就想問咧，係咪代表咧消費者唔好買呢17款咧，定還是係用少少咧？其實對身體健康咧就影響好微嘅啫。
我諗個重點係個消費者對自己嘅風險評估啦。如果我哋從一個消費者保障嘅角度嚟睇咧，產品嘅安全係非常之緊要嘅。若果係已經有17款佢係直情係存在咗呢一個歐盟嘅禁用嘅致癌物咧，我哋會建議消費者唔好用嗰類嘅產品嘅。就算你話下唔下架都好，因為呢一個係海關係獨立嘅針法去就住呢一個消費品安全條例。咁但係對消費者安全而言咧，如果係已經存在咗係一啲禁用嘅致癌物，同埋係佢哋嗰個嘅 個風險咧都係會比較大嘅話咧，咁就我哋會建議就唔好用啦。咁啊，不如揀一啲比較安全啲嘅產品去使用。咁呢個係我哋基本嘅建議啦。咁頭先都有講到啦，有另外一個甲苯啦。甲苯咧就雖然唔係禁用嘅物質，咁但係始終都係會有佢一定嘅風險咧。咁所以都係揾一啲比例比較低啲，嗰個含量比較低啲嘅產品用嘅話咧，就會比較膠夾得嚟安全，都會比較安全啲咯。
咁IK 部繼續第二部分嘅問題咧，就話其實唔少市民咧可能係去啲美甲店嗰度做 gel 甲嘅，咁啲店主咧就未必會透露其實佢哋用嘅 gel 甲油係啲咩牌子啊，或者亦都睇唔到嘅成分嘅。咁喺呢方面咧，消委會有啲咩建議俾店主同埋消費者兩方面呢？
其實咧就好多唔同嘅甲店，當然佢哋會提供個甲油去俾個消費者啦。咁當然第一點咧就係我哋今次出咗呢個報告之後咧，咁我諗好多唔同嘅店主咧，佢哋會檢視翻佢哋嗰個嘅產品個品牌啦，又或者係會睇下邊一啲比較安全啲嘅先去提供俾消費者啦。我覺得呢一個喺從一個服務嘅態度嚟講咧，係一個比較負責任嗰個嘅做法。咁第二個同埋消費者自己本身咧，其實好多時去到個甲店嗰度去做美甲咧，咁係當然係希望係有呢一個美甲師佢哋一啲嘅專業嗰個嘅服務，因為佢哋啲手勢好啲啦。咁所以咧有啲消費者咧，其實若果係佢哋情願安全啲嘅話咧，又或者係自己有本身自己嘅喜好嘅品牌，又或者係顏色嘅話，都係會自己買或者係帶去俾嗰個美甲店。去幫佢去搽，同埋咧，若果係諗住去畫一啲花啊，或者係加啲裝飾品咧，就係用翻嗰個美甲店嗰個嘅服務。咁我諗消費者亦都係考慮呢一點嘅，因為若果自己將甲唔方便，又或者即係整得冇咁靚嘅話，咁想係用一個專業嘅服務，咁但係亦都想安全啲嘅話咧，不妨考慮咧就自己買完啲安全啲嘅產品，咁跟住然後拎去美甲店嗰度去扮靚靚嘅話咧，咁都係會比較好啲咯。
咁繼續係關於呢啲致癌物嘅問題嘅，咁就東方咧就有條問題就問到，即係當中咧有一種甲油啦嚇，我哋嗰個測試就揾到咧，佢含有微量嘅苯，咁就想問消委會認為咧，廠商係咪刻意加入呢種物質咧，定係個產品受到污染嘅咧？
其實好多時我哋做完呢個產品測試，我哋係唔會知道究竟係刻意定唔刻意嘅。因為我哋喺零售點嗰度就係去買一個產品出嚟去做一個產品嘅測試。但係喺個生產嘅過程裡面，究竟係因為某一啲嘅成分或者係物質而令到呢一個有害物質係存在嘅話，因為苯呢一樣嘢咧就係一個有機溶液嚟嘅。咁而有機溶液嘅當然咧就係好多時就係將唔同嘅成分咧就係希望佢哋可以混合得好啲嚇。咁所以咧喺咁嘅情況底下，究竟佢原本嘅原材料出現咗問題啊，定係一啲化學嘅因素而令到係出現咗呢個苯啦？好難講。咁所以咧係驗到出嚟之後咧，好多時我哋都係會建議廠商咧，你真係要追翻個源頭，由你嗰個產品嗰個嘅配方到成個生產嘅過程去檢視下，究竟係出現咗啲咩問題而令到有呢一個有害嘅致癌物質係出現咗嘅。
係咁關於呢個致癌物啦，因為其實有70%嘅gel甲都檢出係至少有一種嘅呢啲禁用嘅致癌物咧。咁有啲樣本因為係檢出多過一款啦。咁明報嘅記者就想問下咧，喺呢啲唔同嘅致癌物質之間咧，會唔會再產生一啲咩化學嘅反應，再造成其他嘅健康風險咧？嗱，究竟會唔會有一個叫雞尾酒效應啦嚇？因為我哋好多時其他嘅產品裏面發現有幾種唔同嘅致癌物嗰陣時，會唔會有一個叫雞尾酒效應去令到佢更加厲害咧？呢一樣嘢係唔知道嘅。咁但係獨立嚟講，係每一個唔同嘅物質，今次嘅係講緊個苯啦、甲醛啦，同埋多環芳香烴啦。呢幾個嘅可以話係污染物咧，或者係佢哋自己本身嘅呢啲成分咧，都係歐盟嗰個嘅禁用嘅致癌物。咁所以咧就大家都係要非常之小心咯。咁但係佢哋即係無論點係，如果佢存在嘅話，都已經係有一定風險。如果佢多啲嘅話，會唔會係更加大風險？咁就好多時呢一個好大嘅問號。但係如果我從消費者保障嘅角度嚟睇，咁頭先都講得好清楚咧，就係如果佢存在嘅話咧，就大家都一定要小心，千祈唔好掉以輕心。咁永遠都係扮靚得嚟，都係要安全至上咯。 咁關於今次嘅測試結果咧，明報記者就問到我哋有冇消委會係轉交俾海關跟進啦。咁知唔知跟進嘅進度係點樣樣咧？有冇產品需要下架嘅咧？
呢方面我哋未清楚，咁可能咧就記者朋友們咧就要問翻海關啦，因為我諗海關咧每一次我哋交咗報告俾佢哋之後咧，佢哋都會自己獨立咧就係去搜集呢個樣本啦，再去做翻佢哋嘅獨立嗰個測試，先至可以判斷到究竟咧係咪會違反咗呢一個消費品安全條例嘅。
咁關於gel 甲油嘅問題咧，我哋就仲有幾條問題咧，就係嚟自英文嘅傳媒嘅，咁所以我哋而家就用英文發問。咁有啲可能同頭先剛才有啲重複㗎啦。A question from SCMP: Is it alarming for the council to find that almost 70% of the gel nail polish it tested contains EU-banned carcinogens?
Frankly speaking, it is quite a surprise to us as well. Finding out that for this gel oil nail polish contains quite some carcinogens and also is the banned use ingredients. So on this basis, we would urge the manufacturer to look into their formulation as well as to look into the choice of their ingredients and improve the quality and also the safety level of the product immediately. And advice to consumers is obviously from this test, out of the 25 samples, there are samples that don't contain the carcinogens. So for safety reason, probably you can have the choice to find some product to beautify your nail with in a safer manner. But for those that have tests that we found with the carcinogens, then probably we will advise the consumer for being really careful, and if you may stop using these kind of products. Reasons being is you never know how risky it is. No matter what, it is already confirmed as carcinogens. For example, benzene, formaldehyde, and also the PAH, they are all is commonly known that they are carcinogenic. Some of them is mutagenic, and some of them, even have ecotoxic. So this is something that you have to be mindful about. Even though you never know whether you get cancer or not, but still, the safer it is, the more careful you are, the safer it will be.
Still from SCMP, what is the difference between formaldehyde and free formaldehyde? Is one more dangerous than the other?
I think, for these technical questions, I have to seek the help from our technical team to differentiate, what is the difference between formaldehyde and free formaldehyde. I think, it is formaldehyde is the overall term, but free formaldehyde probably is a category of it. But just to be safe, I want the team to confirm the answer, and then I address it to you later.
Okay, let's move on to another question first. The council found EU-banned PAHs in 14 samples. Among them, which were the most dangerous, and what were their effects towards health?
I think the most dangerous one probably is naphthalene. It was found in 13 samples. This is also and not allowed to be used under the EU standard. And for this pollutants, it is classified as Cat2 carcinogenic, and also is ecotoxic. So I would say this one is probably the most dangerous one. But the other two, in actual fact, we shouldn't undermine as well. One is called anthracene. The other is benzoanthracene. They are also classified as Cat1b carcinogenic as well. We found these two substances from one sample each. Even though it's not as many as naphthalene, but still it exists. So we think consumer should also be mindful about PAH as well.
Also from SCMP, why were there PAH substances in these nail polish products?
PAH, it is very commonly found in plastic organic solvents. It is kind of and also it is also from many natural ingredients. From many ingredients, it is a solvent for mixing, different things. And right now, what we found is already over 100 types of PAH found right now. And the major hurt to human is about the respiratory and also the skin. And also it could be a persistent organic pollutants, and that could damage the ocean ecosystem. So it is already classified as affecting, human being, and that's why, it shouldn't be used at all in many for many of them, especially, some of them is classified as carcinogenic. So I think for the pH, why it exists in this is mainly because it is organic solvents, and it is also mixed with in the gel polish. That's probably the reason that pH exists. But going back to the trader side, why it exists and whether it can be reduced, because we found some doesn't exist the pH. And therefore, it is also at the time, for the manufacturer to look into the formulation as well as the ingredients and also the production process, and try to get rid of PAH, for consumers.
The last question from SCMP. The Consumer Council also found that only 8 models included a detailed list of ingredients in English. Is there any way to enforce that more nail polish products to improve their product labeling?
Product labeling is quite an issue for many cosmetic items, because right now we don't have any specific regulations about product labeling in cosmetic items. So we believe, we keep, urging for the fact that, that requires more market monitoring about the labeling of different cosmetic items, and if necessary, probably, we have to assess, whether certain regulations, should be imposed about the product labeling. And for the manufacturer, we always said, even though there's no regulation in Hong Kong to stipulate you to present what information on the labels, but as a responsible trader, you should present as many information as possible for the consumers to make an informed choice. Especially the ingredients and the usage and the expiry date and manufacturing, how to use it, the usage guide. These are all important information for consumers. You may say on a nail, a gel nail polish, the bottle is so small. How could we present so many information? But probably, you can add a box, or maybe you can use a QR code, that the consumer can access to more information online. There are many ways, for you to present the information without any difficulty right now with modern technology, and that doesn't need the law just stipulate you to do so. You are responsible to do so if you want to be a responsible trader in producing this kind of gel nail polish. So this is not ideal from our perspective, because there's only 8% the ingredients clearly, and I hope the manufacturer or the trader, after they saw this report, they would take measures to improve immediately.
係咁，最後一條關於 gel 甲油嘅問題嘅，咁就係嚟自 AM730嘅。咁條問題咧就係問到話，即係近年咧對於指甲油或者 gel 甲店嘅投訴，即係所有有冇收到呢方面嘅投訴啦？咁有冇邊啲投訴或者係較值得關注當中，可能譬如話受傷啊或者不適啊咁樣嘅咧？
等等。喺有關於投訴嗰方面咧，我哋就今年頭11個月咧，我哋收到8宗。咁而喺呢8宗裏面咧，就主要嘅投訴內容咧，就係好多時都係喺個收費嗰方面，就唔係話咁多投訴咧係有關於嗰個嘅質素嗰方面，但係都有我哋收過有零碎嘅個案咧，就係當佢做完個 gel 甲嗰陣時咧，就發現咧就好容易甩。 同埋咧係發覺一甩之後咧嗰個手指甲咧係嗰個質素係比以前即係差咗，即係弱咗嘅。咁另外一個個案咧，亦都有講過咧，就係當佢去 gel 甲隔咗一陣之後咧，竟然咧就係嗰個gel 咗嘅甲咧係發黑，咁即刻梗係去拆甲啦。但係個拆甲嗰陣時咧，嗰個服務嗰間鋪頭咧就話：哦，呢一啲係純粹係污糟咗啫咁樣。咁但係個消費者當然唔信啦，咁所以咧就覺得嗰個鋪頭佢哋自己本身個質素咧可能真係有啲問題，咁所以咧就嚟消委會度投訴，因為嗰間公司咧就唔肯退款啊，就住嗰一次，咁所以咧佢哋都係嚟消委會嗰度去投訴嘅。但係我哋普遍睇到嗰啲問題咧，都係喺嗰個收費嗰方面嘅爭議。譬如話你單一次去收甲嗰陣時，去 gel 甲。但係咧佢間鋪頭就係起初講話可能係300蚊，咁但係點知咧出咗嚟咧就可能張單係要成1000蚊，咁原來咧就所謂嘅gel甲咧就純粹係幫你 gel，但係其他嘅嘢咧，譬如話幫你去收翻隻手啊，又或者係加啲花啊等等嘅嘢咧，係唔包嘅，咁所以咧加埋咧就係遠出於呢一個消費者嘅預算咧，都係會令到有一個投訴嗰度嘅出現咯。咁所以咧喺消費者去買呢啲服務嗰陣時咧，第一我哋永遠都係講話都係預繳式消費，都唔可以過分買得多。第二咧就係要問清楚嗰個價錢究竟包啲乜，唔包啲乜，咁呢樣嘢大家都需要留意。咁第三咧就當然就係要睇翻下嗰間鋪頭自己本身嗰個衞生環境啦嚇，究竟係咪 OK 啦嚇？咁所以喺呢幾方面咧，大家都需要留意啊。咁而加埋而家我哋提供更加多嘅資訊俾大家咧，就係啲甲油自己本身嗰個嘅安全程度嘅話咧，咁消費者咧亦都有進一步嘅資訊咧，就係當你去 gel 甲嗰陣時點樣可以 gel 得靚之餘，亦都係安全咯。
咁關於就係不合情理合約嘅條款嘅案例嘅，咁就呢個綜合咗Now 同埋明報嘅問題嘅，就係主要關於我哋介紹過嘅案例入邊咧，咁就想問下，大約係幾時發生啦？歷時幾耐啦？同埋獲判攞回全數或者部分款項嘅成功比率係幾多咧？
或者我先講咗嗰幾個案例嘅時間先啦。咁第一個案例咧，其實個合約咧喺2019年嘅時候簽署。咁嗰個法律程序咧喺2021年嘅時候去開始啦。咁另一個案例就係喺2017，第二個案例就喺2017年嘅時候簽嘅。咁嗰個程序咧就喺2019年嘅時候開始。第三個案例咧，其實就係喺2004年至2008年期間嘅。咁嗰個法律程序咧，其實去到2013年咧先至開始。第四個個案咧，嗰個合約咧喺2001年嘅時候去簽署啦。而嗰個同一年咧，其實就喺呢個小額錢債處小額審裁處入邊咧，係做咗呢個開始嗰個法律程序。而喺2002年嘅時候咧，就喺呢個高等法院就繼續去審判嘅，係啦。咁呢個就係關於嗰個年期啦。跟住sorry，第二嗰個係
除咗年期之外，亦都問到關於嗰個可以獲判取回全數或者部分款項嘅成功比率係幾多？
成功比率嘅話咧，我哋就冇去統計過呢個數字嘅。咁但係喺過去嗰10年，我哋睇翻我哋 CLAF 嗰個訴訟基金嘅嗰個處理嘅嗰個案例啦。咁其實係有至少咧係有3宗咧係可以依據呢個不合情理合約條例咧係獲得勝訴同埋得到呢個濟助嘅。
Can I go back to the questions from South China Morning Post about what is the difference between formaldehyde and free formaldehyde?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My colleague, has have given me some the answer. EU regulate both formaldehyde and formaldehyde releasing agents in cosmetics. Free formaldehyde is the term defined by EU testing method as those formaldehyde detect in the product which is not bind to other substance in health, i.e. The health impact of free and formaldehyde is the same.
好，咁我哋翻去呢個不合情理合約條例呢幾個呢個 topic 嘅，咁就再根據翻頭先問過嘅問題啦。咁 Now 咧亦都想問下，即係有關嘅法例咧，對於消費者保障係咪足夠咧？
Sorry， 講多次條題目。
係 Now TV 就問到我哋提到嘅呢個不合情理合約條例咧，對於消費者嘅保障係咪足夠咧？
呢個唔係足唔足夠嘅問題，係呢啲保障係絕對係需要嘅，因為咧其實喺好多時一個合約嘅裏面咧，係喺一個消費合約裏面咧，可能都會出現有好多唔公平，又或者係個商戶係意圖去卸責或者係承擔即係有一啲係唔公平嘅條款係加諸於喺個消費者嘅身上。咁而喺呢啲情況底下咧，消費者嗰個議價能力係非常之低嘅，因為嗰張合約就係可以話係一張藍本嚟㗎啦。咁你去想用嗰個服務嗰陣時咧，你就要去接受呢一啲嘅不公平嘅條款，同埋好多時咧，你根本係冇嗰個時間咧，就係去睇清睇楚嘅。咁你就如果你真係想買嗰件嘢嘅話，又或者係享有嗰個服務嘅話，咁你就簽咗落去。咁但係如果係咁唔公平嘅話，咁如果消費者冇咗呢一個嘅條款，冇咗呢一個嘅條例嘅話咧，咁其實就更加削弱咗佢哋嗰個權益，所以係我哋覺得係需要存在嘅。咁當然咧，其實呢條法例咧有一個好大嘅好處咧，就係佢係法庭咧係會好因應住個案自己本身裡面嘅內容同埋係嘅細節咧，就係去裁定究竟嗰個嘅條文係咪不合情理，咁而從而咧就個消費者可以有機會去取消個合約啦，又或者咧係透過法庭嗰個嘅判決咧，就係修正或者更改嗰啲不合情理嗰個部分，即係話唔係完全取消個合約，但係如果呢一個部分係唔合理嘅話咧，大家咧就可以係可以修正咗佢，令到佢合理咗佢，合理化咗佢。咁所以咧就係呢一啲嘅呢一個條款咧條例咧，其實對消費者嘅權益嚟講咧，可以話係緊要嘅。咁亦都係同其他嘅法例嚟講咧，可以話係相輔相成。譬如話係呢一個呢一個商品説明條例嚇，咁同埋嗰個管制免責條款條例咧，其實有幾條條例咧，大家都可以相輔相成，因為當佢哋將佢嗰個條例管轄嘅地方擺埋一齊嗰陣時，亦都係因應住嗰個個案嘅情況咧，咁而去做一個訴訟嗰陣時，係可以透過唔同嘅法例自己本身咧，去令到嗰個嘅勝訴咧可以提升。咁所以咧唔可以講話足唔足嘅，其實係必須嘅，係有需要喺度。
咁關於商戶用咗呢啲不合情理嘅合約條款咧，近年咧呢一類嘅銷售多唔多出現呢啲咁嘅奇怪嘅條款？包括話消委會收到嘅求助個案啦、投訴嘅數字啦，有冇相關嘅上升嘅趨勢或者減少嘅趨勢咧？
嗱，我哋冇一個特定嘅類別係講係有關於呢一個不合情理合約條例自己本身嘅類別嚇，因為咧其實係好視乎嗰個嘅情節同埋嗰個嘅究竟個主數係啲乜而係去決定究竟佢係咪觸犯咗呢一個不合情理嗰個嘅條約㗎嘛。咁所以咧我哋就冇一個咁嘅類別嘅。咁但係咧就係其實呢啲不合情理嘅條約咧，可以講話喺過往嚟講咧，我哋喺唔同嘅合約裏面咧都係不時會睇到嘅。咁所以咧佢係俾咗一個好嘅保障，咁究竟點樣可以令到商戶去減少呢一啲咁不合情理嗰個嘅合約嘅條例咧？可能係要透過另外一啲方法，就係當然第一喺呢啲嘅訴訟裏面，如果係勝訴嘅話，已經係對嗰個行業嚟講係一個好大嘅啟示啦，亦都係一個警示啦。咁但係喺第二啲嘅行業嚟講咧，都係要不時去監察咧，就係究竟佢有冇啲不合情理嘅情況。咁而咧就係當發現咗嗰陣時咧，亦都係要及早咧，就係要同嗰啲商戶去講翻，同埋係如果係有爭議嗰陣時咧，亦都係要盡早去處理咧，就希望咧係盡量減少呢啲嘅不平等嘅條約咧係要出現咯。
跟住落嚟係英文嘅問題嘅。A question from RTHK English News about the ordinance. With the holiday season coming, are there any tips for shoppers to dodge unfair or unconscionable terms?
Obviously, when you want to purchase something, you should ask for the contract, and you should ask for as many information as possible in order to assess whether there's any unfair terms exist. But no matter what, for a consumer, usually, when you make a purchase, you think about, the product or maybe the services by itself, but you hardly, to look for the contract. And right now, what we advise you is if you are making maybe a higher amount in the purchase, it's better for you to ask for the contract to have a look, especially for prepayment, like beauty or maybe fitness center. All these, are prepayment, services. So it's better for you, to look into that first before you confirm, before you decide, whether you want to take up the contract or to source from someone else that can offer a more fairer contract to you.
Still from RTHK English News, how about if shoppers is already suffering from these unfair terms? What should they do?
It means, there are disputes happened already. Then come to the Consumer Council. We do our very best to help you. This is one of our functions, to help consumers to resolve all these disputes when you are facing unfair situations. So we have our online channel for you to file your case, and also you can call our hotline as well, and we will do our very best, to support you.
What factors should shoppers take into account when they file charges?
File charges
Against this unconscionable contract terms?
So it means that they want to file a complaint.
Yes.
All right. Evidence, a record, is very important because from the past, when we handle different complaints, trying our very best, to follow up with the consumers. But if you are missing the invoice, if you are missing the record for us to help you on that, that will be very difficult. And especially for certain cases that involve lots of details, in the process, if you don't have a full account of your memory about, what happened, during that time, that will be harder for the council, as well as, in case, we refer your case to any enforcement agency, that would reduce, your chance of success in getting the dispute settled from the council, and also, to take forward to the legal means. So when you encounter this kind of situation, stay calm, obviously, and record it on paper in detail, and also keep the full record. That's probably, the best advice, we can offer right now if you want to file a complaint, no matter to the Consumer Council or any enforcement agency.
Maybe I have one more point to add. It's about the time factor. If you have encountered any these kind of situations, or you're in doubt, you should consult professionals, or maybe come to Consumer Councils as soon as possible. Because when you take it too long, or wait for maybe 1 month, 2 months, or even half a year, 1 year, it may regard that you accept the terms already, and maybe it will affect the chance you can to have the civil procedures. So when you any time in doubt, you think is having some unconscionable terms in it, come to us immediately so that you can you can file your cases and to get support for your situation.
I think I want to go back to the SCMP questions about PAH. One final remark from our professional team is Neverland. Neverland, because this is a very highly volatile compound, it is readily released to the air when using the nail polish. So make sure you have very good air ventilation when you have your nail being gelled. Because these are very highly volatile. It is a very volatile compound. Remember, for some nail shop, they have individual rooms. So if the individual rooms, they are very poor in ventilation and doing your nail gel, and then probably, you have to be mindful about the air ventilation, or maybe instead of doing it in a very tiny, tiny small room, it's better for you to do it in the more open area in the shop.
So we go back to the Unconscionable Contracts Ordinance article. Question from the SCMP. As we have given out some figures regarding complaint statistics against sales practices involving contract dispute. the council has given out these figures to the reporters. And so SCMP asked for, since there was a drop in these contract disputes complaint figures from 2019 to the current time. So SCMP is asking, is there any reason for this decrease in the amount of complaints?
The statistics, that we released is about maltrade practices across different industries, right? Okay. When we there's a 35% drop in the number of complaint cases in the first 11 months as versus last year. I think it really dropped across different industries, except property purchase. But other than that, we record a drop from the telecommunication industry, health club, beauty services, also the timeshare services. All these, we record a drop. I think I would attribute it to the reason of the economic aspect, because no matter what, we are recovering from the COVID, and for certain services. Probably some of the shops, has encountered business closure, or maybe some shops, when they want to sustain, their business, they want to deliver a very good service. So all the terms and conditions in their regular selling situation, they are very, very prudent and also try to please to make sure, the customer are happy. And probably, these are the possible reasons that we could think of in seeing there's a drop in the number of cases. But of course, we couldn't be, we have to be guarded all the time, because when the economy get picking up, there may be maltrade practices happen again across different industries, or maybe new one emerging from different industries. So no matter what, no matter it's good time or bad time, we will always advise consumer to be prudent when you make your purchase and look at the terms and conditions more carefully.
今日嘅發佈會咧嚟到呢度就結束啦。咁唔該晒兩位，唔該晒咁多位記者。
或者我都要祝下所有嘅傳媒朋友啦，同埋我哋香港嘅消費者咧，大家有一個快樂嘅聖誕，同埋有一個好嘅新年。